in my birthday, I was a fucking cunt. I was a piece of shit. You're a rat. Marcelo, you're a fucking wizard. Marcelo, you're a strawman. Fuck you, Marcelo, you're a fucking piece of cunt. You're my biggest enemy. You hate me. You came to my channel and you super chat $100 on my birthday. It's like, you know what, Marcelo, you're a fucking cunt, but happy birthday. Come to my channel, give me $100. Fuck you. You owe me that fucking much. Maybe send me like $20. Oh, thank you for the fucking $20. You could come to my birthday, come to my channel, give me $100. You're a fucking piece of shit. Have a fucking happy fucking birthday. Like, I'm not going to do shit. I'm a fucking cloud cunt, you know. It's the best part about that. Because I knew this is the best part. Come to my channel, give me $100. Fuck you. You owe me that fucking much. You could say that, and you didn't even do that. Fucking poo in the fucking garbage. You could do at least this. I was holding. But you know what? Today is done. Fuck you. I did it in your channel. Why? Because I'm a fucking stupid retard. Because I knew this is the best part. That you guys are fucking so retarded and so fucking stupid. But you know, nobody of your side even came to say happy birthday. So go fuck yourself. Ready? You there?
That's it?
My fucking enemy sent me 3 times more money than you fucking did in my birthday. You came to my channel, so go fuck yourself. I knew it's going to come the day I'm going to flip on the fucking ass. I just was waiting. I was holding myself. Come to my channel, give me $100. 2 years. 2 years. But you owe me that fucking money. Because you fucking win the money. You little piece of shit. Fucking birthday. 2 years. 2 years. I just was waiting. Not even a coffee super chat. You know what? No, you know what? Fuck you. You owe me like over $100 at least, minimum for my birthday. So go fuck yourself. Fuck yourself.
Not even a coffee super chat, boys. That is one of the best clips, I would say, from Mookie. That is the Marcelo birthday clip. For those that don't know, we brought Marcelo back to the Archieverse last year, and on the pinnacle of his birthday, he gave us a ton of great clips. So, you know, really cool. Big kudos to Mookie for making that video, because that's one of the most epic ones. But my boy JB reached out to me and said, "Hey, Tan, why don't you do these shows anymore? Like, what the fuck, man?" And I've just been, I've been busy, and I'm in Europe, and, you know, as I logged on to YouTube, there's nothing on. And this is what I kind of tell everybody. I'm like, where the fuck is the show for the Europeans? Now, your boy Tan has a good, he has a big place in his heart for the European folks, whether you're in the UK or in the mainland or you're in Ireland or wherever you are. So I'm going to do a bit of a watch show for you guys. We're going to riff with the chat. We're going to talk some shit about Higgy's watch and other watches. And anything you guys want to talk about. So we'll go through that. Let's go through the chat here. We got Jay Gray Sweater. Frank Hans telling us to remember to like, subscribe, and tell your Fikehead friends. Thank you so much. Got my boy JB in the chat. Damasco. And we got Phoenician Cedar. Habibi. Good to hear your voice, my man. It seems like you're up a little early today, Phoenician Cedar. So yeah, look, there's been a lot of watch talk lately, and it's been a little depressing. We got the Curly in the chat, $20. Fike coffee, have a cappuccino. Yes, finally, ASMR Viking watch talk. Thank you, Wu-Tan. I'm not gonna say Wu-Tang. I'm gonna say Wu-Tan. Curly's been doing a really good job on the dramas, tons of dramas, and look, he's been doing an excellent job on the Mookie channel, on the dungeon, and anywhere he is. So, you know, big thanks to Curly. I know Archie really appreciates all the support, especially on the main show when he doesn't have a lot of, folks helping him out. So, but yeah, look, we're going to go through some watch talk, and we just haven't done a lot of it, guys. So I figured, why not go through some watch talk? So I do have up on the screen here the inline perpetual calendar from Patek Philippe. Now, our friend, the watch reporter, aka the watch reaper, a new character to the Archieverse, somebody that has a similar taste in watches to Archie on the Patek side, has said the perpetual calendar. Oh, here we go, the watch reporter. Hop on the stream, my man. Now you can talk to me. I'm on my Lange socks. There, the link is in the link is pinned. Watch reporter, hop on. Everybody is welcome. We can talk whatever you like, my man. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. The watch Reaper has stated that the sub-dial variant of the perpetual calendar, in the 3940, for example, is the ideal configuration. Now, for those that don't know, perpetual calendars come in a couple of different configurations. It's usually in the first line here on the Grand Complications page on Patek Philippe's site, and you can see here the 5327, which is I would say the modern version of Watch Reporter's 3940, which shows the traditional sub-dial layout of the perpetual calendar. Now, this layout was it came out in the 80s, I believe 1985. Iggy, if you're listening, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was 1985. I could be wrong. But it started in the 80s with the 3940, a legendary watch. Watch Reporter, actually, that watch was worn by Thierry Stern's father, Philippe Stern. That was his watch. He was known to wear it, and he was actually known to never service it. And yeah, so pretty deep. There's a lot of folks that really like the 3940. Let me just get the super chat real quick. My friend JB, thank you so much, JB. I know that in Europe, the European folks, it's tough for you guys to watch these shows late at night. I do thank you for obviously watching and supporting a lot of the shows, not just the Archie Network, but the Marcelo show and other shows that we do. Thank you so much for the super chat. And we got a special guest. We got the Colonel. Device not connected there, Colonel. Ah, here we go. Come on, Colonel, you here?
Yes.
Hello. Let's talk Patek, Colonel. Let's talk Patek. 5327. So this is the modern version of the 3940. Why? I actually like the white gold that you chose. For me, I've always kind of wanted it in yellow gold just because it's traditional in the yellow gold. But I think that white gold looks fucking schmicko on your 3940. Why did you pick the white gold? Was it just a preference on the color, or was it a condition thing? Like, why did you choose that one?
I was originally looking at the yellow. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can hear you. Good.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I was originally looking at the yellow, because it was cheaper. I'm not like you. I'm a poor immigrant peasant, right? And I'm trying to, scratch my way up the ladder. Originally I was interested in the yellow. The prices have gone up in the last couple of years, right? Let's call it 4 years or so. I had this on my list about 5. Actually, I have to give credit to Archie because I've said this story before. I was completely, not interested in watches for many years up until about 6 years ago, and I just came across the Archie YouTube, and it reignited my interest. And I said, you know what? At that point, I really wanted that perpetual calendar, and the 3940 was expensive. It was like 40 grand at that time for yellow, right? It was about 40 grand.
That's a bargain compared to today, man. Jesus, I wish I bought one at 40K.
In yellow, but in yellow, I think you could still get it for like 50 in yellow gold. No, full set, I think you can get it.
Like a non-desirable dial. Like you're not gonna get like not a dial like layout like yours. We're talking the other one. I think it's it's not the same layout.
So what happened was, I was looking for it, and it was a lot of money, and it was like, let me see what else I can get. I was kind of looking at the AP, the Contian Perpetual, which looks very similar, right? It was like 8 grand. It was 8 grand up until a couple of years ago, and then I was looking. Wow, I like the white. I'll tell you, all of a sudden I got interested in the white because the white to me looks more timeless. It's more contemporary. It's more also, it's a little more low key. It's a little more, it's more versatile in a way.
And do you have the transparent case back, or do you have the solid case back on yours?
No, come on, man. Of course it's transparent. It's got the display back, but it came, full set with.
You got both? With both?
It came with a solid also. You got the solid white gold case back with it.
Can I rabbit hole with you on one thing here, just on that topic? So we were talking to Marcelo like a few days ago, and he was showing you his Le Mans. And I mean, that Le Mans also has a display case back, but Rolex does not give the solid gold with it. Do you think Rolex is cheaping out there? Do you think Marcelo got fucking, do you think he got ripped off, or should they have given him that close case back?
You want to hear something funny? I hate solid those stupid, because it's useless. It's useless. I don't need that case back. I'd rather them sell the watch for a little bit less money Let them keep. What do I need the solid case back for? I want to look at the movement, right? Like, and by the way, I'm not like a movement. I'm not a movement freak, but I just want to be able to look at it. It's kind of like, you know, when the Ferraris, they had that, you know, transparent display. They started doing that like, you know, 20 years ago. That glass, whatever they put in the back.
Yeah.
You see that engine. It looks beautiful. Like, and again, I don't know anything about engines, but it looks cool, right? You just want to look at it. So I don't want that. I don't want that display. I don't want that extra piece of metal. And you know what? I have that JLC dual time, which has like a Hunter. You know, it's got that Hunter case back extra piece.
Yep.
You know, which is like, what do I need that for? I'd rather not have it, so the watch becomes thinner, and I just want the glass display, and let them charge less money for it, because that Hunter case probably adds, well, you know, it's probably a 3/4 of an ounce of gold, you know, and you know, now JLC is becoming cheap. They don't give you a deployed clasp now because they're trying to, you know, save money. They're giving you just
you don't need the Longue. Longue barely gives any watches the deploying clasp. Like, very few of them get it. Whereas, like, on the Pateks, like, yours is because yours has this.
They're cheapskates.
Yeah, I mean, you have the. I saw your photo. I saw your Patek photo, and you had your 3940 and a couple other pieces. I think you had in the lips there, and you have two pieces there with the deploying clasp. Like, so obviously complications or grand complications, depending on whatever you had. For me, the white gold on the 3940, when I saw your watch, I was actually like, it changed my mind on the 3940, because I was really like a very pro, like, yellow gold, has to be yellow gold. But yeah, I'm really digging the white. The thing about, I don't know if you know about the platinum version of that one, but platinum, they don't give it this it's only solid.
You know which one I really like? It's I was actually thinking, I want to kind of I'm trying to find somebody who actually knows something who can. I really want to trade. I really like the one that you have on the screen here. Actually, I'm sorry. This is the new one. This is the new one. I'm talking about the one that was
that we want the 5140. The 5140.
The 5140 blue dial platinum. I think that's the best one. It's got the stick markers. I don't like these brigade, this bullshit Arabic. No, I like clean, modern. You know, just timeless. It's got the blue, what is it, 5140? There you go.
That's sick. Now, the only downs. Okay, so I've tried on the 5327, the one that was previous to this, because JJ and I went to London Jewelers in New York, and JJ knew the manager, so the guy was cool to show us whatever. And so I had my 5320 with me, and the 5327 does look smaller. It fits like a small 39. Because the 5320 actually fits like a small 40, even more like a 39. So I've tried the 3940 on the 36 mil, and it fits actually really well on the wrist, much better than the perpetual count. Because I know you were talking about why the fuck do I need a perpetual calendar chrono, and I actually agree with you, because that watch is actually thickish. It's thick as fuck, and the 3940 is slim. I mean, you got the 240 movement, micro rotor. I mean, what else do you really want in that? So yeah, I agree that in this one, Watch Reporter is actually quite underappreciated. Not a lot of folks like it's kind of a transitional model between your era, which is the legend era, and then really the new era, the modern, right?
You know, it's interesting. I don't. So here's the thing. So how I got this watch was, you know, I was looking for the perpetual, and you know, the prices were high, and you know, I ended up stumbling across the 5396R. You know, the blue dial with the baguette diamonds, the rose, you know, the
annual calendar, yeah.
And I think I paid like, this was like kind of during early COVID. I think I got it for like 48 grand, which was a little bit below. It was brand new, everything, you know, below. It was like below retail, basically, right? You know, for me, that watch was too big. It was a little too big. You know, the way the lugs kind of flare out, and you know, something about. You know, I just didn't. I found the thing with that 24-hour indicator. I thought that was completely useless, totally useless. I'd rather have a calendar there. You know, I like things going around in circles. The dial was beautiful, but you know, the diamonds, the rose gold, the combination didn't work. And you know what? I was the guy I bought it from, the dealer. I told him, look, you know, if you ever get a perpetual, I'd rather get that. And we just did a parallel trade. We just did like an even money trade. Mm-hmm. And that's how I got it.
Nice.
So yeah, it was kind of like Because I think at that time, all of a sudden, there was a window where that 53.96 was kind of becoming like a hype piece, and the perpetual was kind of like out of favor. So I kind of got a little bit lucky there.
Let me grab the super chat and we can get into it there, Watch Reporter. Apes, 10 British pounds. So me and Apes were talking, and I was complaining there's no fucking shows on. And I'm in Scotland right now, and there's nothing happening. So I figured I might as well do it myself. Tan the man adjusted to the Scottish time zones. Mr. Penny's asking who is on with Tan. Mr. Watch Reporter, please plug your channel.
Oh, what is it? What's the Tan? Watch Report. Tan, by the way, I want to thank you for plugging the channel. I got a whole bunch of subscribers, so thank you. Thanks to you. Before that, we were in obscurity.
Look, Archie's all about, like, you know, obviously expanding and obviously collabing with other YouTubers. And look, you have a very similar, you know, I would say a taste of watches to Archie. So, you know, naturally it was I would say it's complimentary. I appreciate, obviously, you copping on. I was going to do a solo show on Paddock, but obviously, you know, to hear your story is more interesting to me. And we were talking about the 3940 and you were talking about the 5396 being somewhat of a hype. And I would agree with you. Like, they definitely had, it was the more favored annual calendar compared to the 5146. And I'll show up a picture of the 5146 for people who, like Gary, are saying, I want to see other cases. I'll show you that one, Gary, in a second, but I'll pull up a 5146 here.
And you know, the watch, here's the thing. It looks beautiful, but it's kind of like, you know, it's, so Tan, what I want to do is I want to ask you, would you trade the 3940, you know, if you had like the, you know, like the G, the, you know, white gold, would you trade that for a blue dial platinum, like that previous generation?
The only reason that's actually a really tough question, because for those that know, like, the 3940 is one of my favorite watches of all time, and not just me. I mean, Ben Clymer has one, and fucking like everybody.
Ben Clymer.
I'm just saying I'm not the only one in the world that really likes the history of that watch. And look, even Philippe Stern, right? I mean, the head of Patek Philippe.
Classic.
Where's that one, right? I would say the only reason I would say yes is because the 5140 is in platinum, right? So it is a special metal. I like the blue dial. I don't think you're going to get much of a size difference between the 37 and the 36. It is actually a tough. If you were to say a 3940p and a 5140p, I would go 3940p all day long. And even a 3940 first edition, I'd probably take over the 5140p. But, you know, if it's a second edition or later, I would take the 5140p personally. Is that something you were looking to do? Are you looking to trade up to that?
Yeah,
I would not trade to the 5327. Keep your 3940. It's gonna hold its value much better, in my opinion.
You know, I mean, but, you know, right now the values are basically similar. It's more or less the kind of, you know, it's about even.
But think about it, right? Like, you're talking about similar value to a watch that's like arguably neo vintage, right? Like the 3940, it's not vintage. It's that era of like neo vintage, you could call it, the 80s and 90s. And I mean, for a watch like that to trade at similar prices to a modern perpetual calendar, I mean, my perpetual trades for 60s, mid 60s, let's say, right? It's not too far off from a 3940. Like, that just shows you how legendary that watch actually is.
Yeah, you know what it is though. It's I'm kind of looking at it in terms of how am I looking at it? It's, you know, I'm all about really wearing the watch. And I think the blue dial is a little bit more legible, and the platinum makes it slightly more durable. I think it's just a more beautiful dial. So I think, you know, in terms of pleasure, I think I would get more visual enjoyment from it. That's the only thing. That's basically, you know, value wise, that's, you know, again, the 3940 has been really kind of creeping up in value. The G, that one's been kind of really creeping up in value.
Yeah.
So, you know, I really kind of hate to look at these things as an investment. I mean, I talk about that, investment, but, you know, the reality is, you know what, I'm wearing the watch. I have it on my wrist right now. You know, it's like, I'm not like keeping it in the safe. You know, that's the whole point, is to wear it, you know? Hang on a second.
I agree.
Hang on a second. I'm going to turn on. Let me see if I can turn on. Can I get the camera? Here we go. Hang on. Let me get the camera on.
Yeah, while you do that, I'll get the super chat here. We got £5 from Apes. Interesting to hear Higgy yesterday on. I'll make it full screen here, my friend.
There we go.
There you go. The 3940 boys needs to focus a bit.
In all its glory. In all the glory.
I love it, man. That is such a sick watch. And I tried on. I told you I tried on a 3940 last year, and like back to back with a 3970, which is perpetual calendar chrono, and I still like the 3940 better. So
yeah, it's no, it's good. It's good. I like the only thing is this. I'm a fan of colored dials. I like a little color. It's and this is like it's like an opaline silver kind of, right? So it's not really white. It's kind of like an opaline, whatever you want to call this. And yep. I just want something a little more vibrant. Just a little more vibrant because look, I want to go with white because it's low key. But you know what? I just the blue. The blue to me is really that's kind of the.
Look, you're gonna get platinum too. Yeah, you'll get a platinum watch. Like it's an upgrade, and like I would say, I would do that trade. It's just a lot harder if it's a 3940 platinum or a first edition for me.
No, you know what? Actually, I think that's an ugly watch. I mean, not ugly. The solid case back. Why would I want to have a solid case back? To me, that's crazy.
Let's see what's here. Interesting to hear Higgy yesterday on World Time Minute Repeater. So that's probably this watch because I know he's like got a hard on for this watch, and it was released this year by Patek. Beautiful watch, but like honestly, like I've been to Geneva once, and I don't really have a connection to Geneva like this, so I wouldn't probably buy it. You know what I mean? Like, if it was the fucking Kentucky Derby or something, there, Colonel, we'd
hold on a second. You know what's funny actually? This was the guy I was arguing with, right? That was the guy with the Lange guy.
Yeah, he's a regular. He's a hardcore Lange guy. And here's the interesting thing, though, Colonel, is he actually used to sell the 3940 because he started selling watches in the 80s for an AD that in Germany and whatnot. And so that was the perpetual calendar had come out so he sold it retail. He's got a lot of really good stories. Hopefully, if he ever comes on any of the shows, like you could tell the stories. But like he's got some really cool stories about like. How the buyers back in the day and stuff.
He has no sense of humor. He didn't understand my jokes. I don't think,
dude. You were trolling him so hard. He's like, you're like Patel Philippe was invented by Raj Patel in 1800, and he's like, no, it was not. It was just like, I was like, dude, how are you getting trolled so hard by this guy? Like, come on.
But that's the Lange. That's the Lange customer. It's a very Germanic mentality. The Lange, it's the watch.
Archie used to say it. For those that don't know the name Bondage and Discipline, is a very famous punter in our chat. That name comes from an Archie video where Archie did a video on what does your watch say about you, and it was on Lange. And Archie says in that video, people who like Lange watches, I think it's Lange 1 or Lange watches, I don't remember which one it was, whether it was the one or just the brand, he said those people like Bondage and Discipline. he's like that's what Lange owners are. Those like Bondage and Discipline.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's funny. By the way, this watch, I actually hate the Patek enamels. I think they're so fucking ugly. It's really it looks kitschy. It looks tacky. I don't even like sometimes they just kind of do everything wrong, But I don't know. People love it. I don't know. Some people love it, I should say.
Honestly, this one was a pretty popular one. A lot of folks love this one. They like the little steamboat. They like, just, I don't know, World Time Minute Repeater. Like, if you're talking about the most useless fucking shit, it's like your world time's going to be wrong half the time of the year with daylight savings time. And you're, the fuck do you need a minute repeater for? Like, it just, I don't know. So the question is, will they make a platinum World Time Minute Repeater? Thoughts? Look, Patek they're really anal about the sound of their minute repeaters, so they will make the best sounding minute repeater. And I believe in Patek, every minute repeater actually, I think Thierry Stern actually has to approve the sound quality of every minute repeater that leaves. So obviously they don't make a lot of them, but it's definitely a complication that they would take very seriously, like that they would ask the CEO to actually, review because it's going to the top clients. We got 20 euros here from JBJB who says, Tan and the Watch Reporter, great combo. Yeah, like I was watching your show, Watch Reporter, and I felt that like a lot of your content, a lot of the, just the watches you talk about, like it's very much what our audience would be into, high-end watches. You did a great video on why the Rolex Explorer is a shitter and whatnot. So for those that don't know, I'm plugging Watch Reporter. There's a lot of Watch Reporter love in the chat. Hopefully, Watch Reporter, you're going to start doing more live streams at a normal time, not like right smack in the middle of Archie when no one's watching.
Oh, you know what? You know what? What is, if you tell me what is the right time? Because, you know, actually, I was trying to do a show yesterday. I wanted to have you on, which was called Show Us Your Paddock.
Yeah.
And you know, I thought you would come on. I sent you an invite, and actually, I contacted you through YouTube. I don't know your email, but Marcelo crashed the show. and
Of course he
did. The Rolex, not the wrong watch, but, you know, the cool watches. But yeah, what's the right time? Like, what is the right time that I should be doing
Archie, I don't know what time zone you're in, but I'm Eastern.
I'm on the West Coast. I'm West.
You're on the West Coast because you're Pacific. Okay, so I would say so Archie starts your time 2:30 and he ends at 5:30 your time.
Oh, okay.
So either you do it before, like, you know, an hour before, because I know you don't do long shows. You do about 45 to an hour, or an hour after.
I'm not fishing for. I'm not here to fish for super chat money. You know, like I'm not trying to milk it for 5 hours.
Watch Reporter, we got the OC here. You want to read his comment here and maybe give him some feedback of what the Watch Reporter thinks of his comment?
I love the hobnail. I'm a real fan of the hobnail. You know, my first paddock was actually had that, you know, the, what do they call it? Clou de Paris. You know, it was the basic Calatrava, you know, the one that Jack Welch, the GE CEO had, you know, that it was the basic, you know, and I really loved that watch. I sold it, and, you know, then I was in the desert of watches. I didn't wear anything for like 10 years, but it was you know, I really loved that. I think it's, by the way, Tan, what do you think? Because here's the thing, you know, like, again, like, I'm into wearing the watch, and like, I'm thinking maybe I should sell the 3940 and get the hobnail perpetual, you know, the same era, you know, what's the number, you know, it's the same dial layout, but it's got that
is it the 39? Let me look. I think it's a 3945.
It's got that Calatrava look with a hobnail. The only thing is it also has those the lugs have that, you have those, you know, straight lugs of the Calatrava. You know, what's the number? It's
I don't know if it's a 3941 or a 30. I'm trying to find it.
And those are prices. And so here's the thing: those are like half the price. So I'm like, shit. Like, should I just, you know, sell it, get that? I can wear it every day, and I'll have, you know, 30 grand to buy something else.
Yeah, they like. I found a more modern one, but like the 5139 is it's a perpetual calendar. It's more like a perpetual calendar that uses the style of the old 3919, or, you know, the old hobnail. I'll show it to you here. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah.
But you got the old, because this is what you're describing. You got the Calatrava style. Yeah, from the 3919 and the 5119, this hobnail design, and as well as the 6119 now. And then you got the sub-dial, which is your favorite layout of perpetual calendar. But is the Watch Reporter a fan of these hands? Like, you were talking shit about Moser. These are kind of like.
Hold on. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned. I think the model that I saw had cleaner hands. This hand is atrocious. I don't like these hands. The one I like has a black dial. It's like a white gold or yellow gold black dial, and it's got like a cleaner hand. I don't think it has these hands. Yeah, I don't like these hands at all.
Nah, you know what's interesting is if you go back to the 5327, because when you were talking about, because it just caught my mind when you were describing like the Moser, and you're like, I fucking hate the hands, right? And you got the same leaf style hands on the, like, yours has the Dauphine hands, right? Like the 3940 has, which I agree with you. The Dauphine hands are much nicer. Like, I don't dislike the leaf hands, but I still think they fucked up and not. But hey, they got Brigade numerals, so what are you gonna say, right?
Tang, you know what I want to ask you, because this is what I wanted to have you on a paddock show is you know, the watch, the one watch I really want is the Calatrava. Actually, I was in London a couple of years ago, and what's that shop in one of those arcades? What is it, Dugan or something? And he had a Calatrava, like an early one with a blue dial. I think it was yellow gold with the dolphin hands. You know, the stick markers. It was beautiful. But there's a watch, I think they call it the Pope's watch, It's a Calatrava purple dial with the dolphin hands. Have you seen this?
Yeah, let me look up the Pope's Calatrava. There's a few, but you said it's a purple
It was
dial.
given by the Vatican. I think like they gave it to like certain cardinals or something, and
Yeah.
it's a beautiful watch.
It's not easy to find, because those are like one-offs, right? Like they don't like unless there's an article about it. It's I don't know. Let me. I'm trying to.
They made a bunch. I think they made like I don't know. They may have made like 50 pieces or so. How much would something like that go for? What would something like that sell for? Do you think?
See, that's a tough one, right? Because you're gonna, especially if there's any kind of relation to the Pope, you're gonna have collectors. Like I had this problem when I was buying certain pieces where when it pulls collabs from other industries, like a good example is the Swatch. I know you don't want to talk about Swatch, but Damien Hirst. Okay, let me walk it back. Damien Hirst is a famous artist, did a collab with Swatch, right? And it was called the Swatch Mickey. And this was back when Jen and I were streaming, and Jen wanted to actually get it, but he somehow fell asleep. Anyways, I ended up getting the watch, and it was so hard to actually get it online because all these art collectors were fucking showing up. So, it's a tough. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You're going to have collectors, like if you put that at auction, right, you're going to have collectors that may even do it, that are just not even watch collectors, right? And I do think that
crossover market, you're getting like, diehard, I don't know, Catholics or something, Pope fanatics or something. They want to have
but like I think
plus you got the Paddock people, you're getting everybody.
Yeah, let me show you, and this is what I think about purple dials, right? Because purple dials, they're a bit polarizing. Paddock did just release a purple dial. This is the updated version of the World Time, by the way. I don't know if you saw it. It was released in Japan at the exhibition. It's the so the previous gen was the 5230, and now this is the 5330 in white gold. Obviously, you can see Tokyo at 12 o'clock with the rising sun as well. But the interesting thing about this watch, you got the purple dial, which Archie and a bunch of folks just absolutely hate. But what you notice here is they've added a fucking date to the watch. Like, I don't know if do you really need a fucking date on the World Time? Like, it's a bit too busy for me.
I like that. Again, I like to see, time and context. I like to see, like, how the year is progressing. Okay, this is showing you we're in the 7th week. So, time is moving, right? I like the purple. I think it looks a lot better in person, probably with the white gold. I mean, and you know what? I'm looking at the font. The font looks nice. A lot of times they screw up the font. This looks like a nice watch. It's actually a beautiful watch.
Well, I think this is actually going to be a sneak peek at like Paddock's they're going to release the 5330. It's the new, because they just discontinued the platinum a few days ago, the 5230p. So this looks like it's going to be the updated version now. And if you look at the difference here, and I'll kind of point out a couple of differences. So this now has step lugs. Like, so this step lugs, I don't know if you're familiar with the 5212, the weekly calendar.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like this.
It has a step. So that step lugs, like they're doing these step lugs. Paddock is, starting to do step lugs. You have the 3-tier steps on the perpetuals, and then these other ones kind of get the 2 steps. So that's different. If I show you, and I'll show you why I think the 5230 is it's just a better watch. And looking at even the design, right? Like if we look at the lugs of that compared, I'll show you a 5230 here in the platinum.
How much is that, by the way? What does that sell for?
It was a Japan only. Like you have to only be able to get it from a boutique. So it's probably your standard or a little bit increased price. I don't really know exactly what it was, but you just couldn't get it because you have to be a VVVIP or something. But hey, we got America in the chat. How's it going, America? 5726. Hopefully back on the train with Paddock. But looking at the differences here, this was the previous gen. Now these lugs are so much cooler, in my opinion, than those step lugs.
So here's the thing. They're kind of popping out. I like when the lugs kind of like on the 3940, they're kind of built. What's the word? Am I using the right words? They're kind of built in. It flows. Here, it's kind of like, it looks like they're welded on. It looks a little bit too, but I like it better than the stepped lugs. I mean, the lugs make a big difference. I'll tell you, it's.
I want to show you Archie. I want to show you the new Paddock Archie's getting. I want to get your take on it because we've seen a couple of World Times, and I want to show you his exact. Well, it's not his exact watch, but what the watch will look like that he's going to get from Dave. Let me just pull up a good photo here for you.
Can you press the America thing? the purple world time. What is that? What do you think? Is that like? Okay, I love those hands. By the way, I love those hands.
You really like? Fuck, man. You really?
The coolest thing. That is the coolest thing. You know what? This to me is great. The only thing is, I think the font. I didn't like the font or something. But this is kind of a bigger watch, right? What is this? What size is this?
Yeah. So Archie's first world time was the 5110. You probably remember it, which was a 37 mil watch.
The old one. Yeah, the old one.
The old one, the yellow gold one. Yeah. So it's a 37 mil watch. And then Patek then in the next generation increased the size to 39.5. So it still retains the crown guards from that era. So you're thinking the Calatrava era of the 5107, 5127. And these world times that have these crown guards, which is quite unusual on a dress watch, number one. The lugs are okay on this, like not great, not bad, but I think it's more of what you're describing is just more of an integrated with the case in that sense.
And you know what? This, I think it makes you look more modern, and those the crown guards make it look more modern. So that travel time I have, which is like the basic yellow gold travel time. That's why I think that watch has that very like kind of modern look in a way. I mean, I wish they did like the subdial fonts better, but the overall design of the watch, it looks modern, and this travel time, wait, is it the same? No, this is different. Is this a different design?
Yeah, no, sorry. Let me grab the super chat and we go to your travel time. So we got Jake Brooks, good friend of mine, $10. Seems the hardcore Patek fans give the 5930G no love. Is it because of the rotor, or I like the chrono function with it? So Jake Brooks, I actually, if you go to Instagram and you look up Patek Collector, he's obviously very well-known Patek Philippe collector. And he actually he has a photo of him recently wearing a 5930. So if a guy like that has it in his collection, it's not I wouldn't say it's a slouch. Why he's saying the rotor watch reporter, I don't know if you're familiar with this watch, but it has the big rotor. It doesn't use like a micro rotor like your Perpetual or like Archie's World Time. And so yes, that is part of it because folks are, they want to see the movement, right? So that is part of it.
I'd rather have a big rotor. I think the big rotor is better.
Let me show you kind of what. Yeah, let me show you
a little bit.
Yeah, but that's kind of the problem is you see some of it, you don't see a lot of it, and it's like that's where people are like, like they'd rather go for the. I asked this question to it. There's a pretty big time Patek collector in the chat. I'm not gonna say who it is, but they know who they are. And I asked them that question, like, would you take this or this? And the 50, like for example, the 5230 Platinum over this, and they said all day long, right? Beautiful guilloche dial on this. You've got roll time, you got your chronograph function, and then this is what he was talking about. You got your big rotor at the back.
This one comes in green, right? This comes in a green dial, right?
It does. So this is the white gold version because he asked for the 5930G. The green dial is the platinum version, 5930P.
I saw that. I saw it in person, and it was like, wow, this is. I mean, it's a beautiful watch. I mean, I don't need to me, it's like, okay, chronograph. Like, what do I need a chronograph for? Whatever. This is like if somebody likes it, the design. From the design standpoint, like the dial. Again, I'm very shallow. Like I'm not into the whole. I just need the internals to make sense. I don't need to have like, the Langen zone, everything hand finished by 5-year-olds. I just need the thing basic. I think it's a cool watch. I mean, it's I don't know what you need the chronograph for and all that.
It's an unusual it's an unusual complication, like a world time chronograph. It's not really a common complication, so it is cool. Like, and honestly, Jake Brooks, I like this watch. I don't dislike it at all. It's just when you're spending this much money, it's the opportunity cost, right? If you're spending 50 grand, well, what are you going to spend your 50 grand on, right? Like, Colonel might spend it on a meteorite, but you might spend it on a meteorite Pepsi over this, right?
Yeah, I would probably get. I'm out of meteor. There's other things. There's other things. This is, to me, this is kind of like, it's not. It doesn't have any purpose. It serves no function for me. Like I'd rather get some other perpetual calendar or something. Like whatever. Something different. But I like.
I was going to ask you, how much have you been following Archie? Because this is a good comment from Gary, and I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Because Gary's like, look, Archie's been doing great. Like he's got this world time coming that everybody's excited for, right? Like really, really cool to have Archie to have a world time again, obviously after the robbery and whatnot. But he's been buying some really weird stuff. I'm going to show you one of these watches. I want to get your take on it because this one's very polarizing in the Archieverse. And
he's getting that world time with that round hand. Yeah, that's the one he's getting.
Correct. Yeah, the one with the cock. Yeah, the one with the cock ring hand. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's a fucking great watch.
Let me show you what he's getting as well, and I want your take. I need a quick hot take from the watch reporter. I'm going to pull this down. What do you think of this new piece? But bam. What do you think?
Wait, this is Vacheron. Fucking, I'm not a fan of Vacheron. You know the one Vacheron I do like, and I think if somebody has a big wrist, the Vacheron, the overseas tourbillon, what are they called? High jewelry. It's with the diamonds around the bezel, and the baguette diamond markers. Have you seen picture? It's amazing watch. I mean, it's like a couple $100,000, right? But it looks stunning. It's like, wow. It's like, if you have to do the diamond, it's like, yes. And if you put that on a rubber, you can change it out for the rubber strap. You can go low key. I mean,
so is the watch reporter, is he pro jewelry, like pro diamonds? You're okay with gems or not? Okay?
I am pro. Look, I'm pro if form follows function, right? If it's kind of low key, like this is, to me, you can't go beyond this. It's just it pushes the envelope. Like, okay, on the markers, it's fine. You can have diamonds. I like the baguettes, so it's like a nice shape. On the bezel, because it's a relatively small area, it looks really good just because of the shape of it. I wouldn't like it on I'm not a fan of like diamonds on a Rolex, on the bezel or on the bracelet. I don't want, that's like too much, but this to me is like, wow, especially if you had on a rubber strap, it would be low key. It's like kind of like just enough. The problem is, it's too damn big. It's like 43 millimeter, and it's also a little bit expensive, All
right, watch reporter. You got some folks in the chat, some Archieverse fans in the chat asking you questions here. So we got JBJB 20 euros. Watch reporter, what do you think about the Rolex King Midas? I got it up on the screen for you.
I think there's a piece of shit. This is it's what's his name? It's Gerald Genta, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, it's like Gerald Genta, right? He's like any artist, right? He's basically an artist. So he's got hits and misses. And he's had a lot of misses. It's like every good artist has, hits and misses. And this guy, I think his best hit was the Royal Oak. That was the big hit. And, maybe the Pole Rooter or, a couple of those early ones were probably very good. But a lot of this other stuff is just very, it's very dated. It's of its time, but it's not a classic look. Like, look, the Royal Oak was also of its time, but somehow that design transcends. It's transcendent. This, to me, it's kitschy. It's a gimmick. I know it's all of a sudden it's like a hipster thing. Like all the hipsters are into this. To me, it's kind of like, whatever. I'm sure it's an influential design because Piaget copied this. Other people copied this.
Well, that's what OC's question is. He's asking, should he trade the King Midas? Because he owns a King Midas. Should he trade his King Midas for a vintage Piaget Polo?
The Piaget Polo is a quartz movement, right? That's a quartz watch, I think. It's quartz, right?
I don't think so, no.
I think it's quartz.
I don't know about the vintage Piaget Polos or the current Piaget Polo?
No, I think the vintage ones were quartz.
I don't know about the vintage ones. I only know about the current ones. I'm not I'm not. Yeah, maybe they are quartz. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I think the Piaget Polo is actually a better looking watch. It's more refined. I actually would go for one. I'm talking about the old one, but it's quartz. I just can't get into that. I can't get it. Some people can get over that. I can't get into that. And that's my issue with this new reissue, which is an automatic movement. And it looks kind of cool, but I don't know. It's it is kind of dated. Even in Miami, this would look kind of, it's an 80s look. It's an 80s cocaine cowboy look. It's sort of like, why not just get an Ebel two-tone, be done with it, Why not get a Movado, I don't know, like a Rado, what, come on, it's kind of a dated look, it's, if you want to be like kind of like a vintage guy and wear I get it, but to buy it new, it's just, I don't think they're there. It's sort of, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me.
Watch Reaper, you're on fire today. You should be streaming on the Archie times. Like, what's happening here, Reaper? You need to like monetize. You need to turn on the monetization. Get some super chats.
I turned it on. I turned on the monetization yesterday. I made like $10, man. I'm getting rich. I got enough money to pay for my car wash today.
Well, this guy just dropped £5. So he says, Ape says, Reaper, thoughts on the Acrivia AK-06. So this is from Resha Pershepi's brand, Independent. I know you're not a huge fan of Independence, but why don't you give us your take?
Yeah, listen, I'm a graduate of the Patel Philippe Watchmaker Academy. So my knowledge is kind of limited. I'm not really an expert. Like, I don't know. I'm talking purely from a very shallow standpoint. I'm not talking about, my opinions are based on aesthetics. I'm like an art guy. I'm an aesthetics guy. To me, the mechanics are important, but they're not like, it's like, okay, I want to have a 12-cylinder engine. That's it. I don't need to know all the details. To me, this is kind of like I think it's an interesting watch. It's an interesting watch, but how much is this? What is the price of this?
Ooh, Acrivias they're not cheap, my friend. They're not cheap. I tried to get Higgy. So Higgy went to Resha Pershepi's manufacturer and met his wife and everything. And I was like, yo, can you put my name on the list? And he's like, no. He didn't even put his own. And then I kind of told him, like, you wouldn't even fucking put my name on the IWC fucking list, like, let alone Resha.
Hey, I was gonna mention something, and this is my issue. I was gonna talk about like Langa and these guys. Here's the thing. I said this before. I think that these independent guys, the guys who are doing really innovative work, they're very important for moving the industry forward, moving things forward. They're the avant-garde. It's like, whether it's like that HYT, I don't know if you like them, or like Resonance, or MBNF or work. These guys are doing amazing things. Would I ever wear one? Fuck no. But I appreciate what they're doing, right? It's sort of like, it's like Damien Hirst. You want to put a shark in a formaldehyde tank? Great. I think it's interesting. I'm going to look at it, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to put it in my own house. I'm not going to spend $10 million on that. There's better things you can buy for that. That's my personal taste, right? So, but the problem is this, right? The problem I have with these independent brands is, if you're going to be on that avant-garde independent, that's what you should be doing. Like the work, the resins, the crazy stuff, MBNF, great. But if you're going to be doing this stuff, you're not really doing any. There's a lot of these guys who are doing kind of like, what's that guy who's called Voutilainen or something?
Voutilainen. Yeah, I saw you added one. You showed one.
I don't get it. It's like these guys are fighting the last war. There's that expression of the general is always fighting the last war. They're trying to perfect like something that's old and making it better. I think a lot of these guys, like this guy, and there's a bunch of these watchmakers, yeah, they got some crazy thing, and it's like whatever. I'm sure it's like very accurate movement, accurate to the mill. I don't give a shit. It's nothing innovative. It looks like any other watch from the last 300 years. That is not innovation, okay? That's not, so why would I pay a premium for that? To me, it's cute. I think it's a gimmick. I'm sure it's very interesting. I wouldn't pay money for this. Because again, I'm a conservative guy. I'm like a basic bitch. I appreciate it, but this to me is not, it's kind of in the middle. It's not in that work, and it's not quite as avant-garde, and it's a little more interesting than a Kari Voutilainen or whatever he calls himself.
All right, we got $10 Canadian from Dexterious. Gentlemen, best paddock for 40,000 Canadian or less. So that's 30,000 US dollars. You first there, watch reporter. Russell's giving us a hint here on one of them.
I don't know.
Good friend.
I
think Russ. I think 30 is a bit low, Russ. If he was trying to get a 5212, he would have to get it at retail and discounts and stuff. I don't think he's going to do it for 30. Look, I can start if you want. I think I'll show you what I'm. I'm sure what I'm thinking. So you can get this annual calendar for about $30K. US
This is
dollars.
a classic. This is a classic. This is like a $25,000 watch, though, I think. US, 25 grand.
Yeah, like so that's what his question, right? It was 30K or under essentially. And yeah, you can get Calatravas, like you could buy a 5227.
This is
I better. You get a complication. Right, you get a complication. A lot of people, they don't get moon phases on their watches, so at least get a moon phase because I really like them. I think a lot of folks like them. This is the classic layout of the annual calendar. This is the basically the evolution of the 5035, the original annual calendar. Not everybody's favorite layout. I don't mind. I don't mind it, but people were complaining. I'll show you why they were complaining. A lot of the times was this Patek Philippe at the bottom. They just fucking hated it. They wanted it at the top, like they had it on the 5035. So
I don't care about that.
Yeah, Russ. Sorry, Russ. Yeah. You're correct. It is $40,000 US. Yeah. So because he said Canadian, that's what. Yeah. So yeah, if it was 40 US, I would have said other pieces. But
okay. No, this is a great watch. This is a great, especially in white gold, because in white gold it will look more modern. Like if you had this in white gold, or I think these come with like a gray dial, also like a black dial, I believe.
They got lots of variants. Yeah. They've got tons of variants of this one. We got a good question here from JB for you. I don't know, man, Watch Reporter. Like, we're making all the money here. Like, you better be live streaming tonight or something after Archie, man. Like,
I might. I was actually going to do a show. I have one on the calendar for, instead of show us your Patek, show us your Rolly, because I think the problem with Patek, the Patek people, it's a higher class audience. Most of them have real jobs. They don't want to. they don't have time to do. They don't have time to do live streams. They're not. They're kind of. It's not the hoi polloi. So it's kind of those guys. There's fewer of those guys. Whereas the Rolex, everybody, it's like I can get more people on. It's more mass market. It's a more mass market appeal.
It is. You probably get, like you said, you get more punters that way. But look, Archie's channel, like it's luxury, right? People like all kinds of luxury watches, especially.
I really want to do a show. I was really hoping to have you on, to have you show us, your watches, have other punters pop up and show us what they got, right? Whip it out and show us how big it is,
Honestly, I think people would be game for that, right? Like yesterday was just tough for me because I was flying over to the UK, but people like the Archieverse, very diverse watches. This is a good question from JB. JB's asking about the 51. If you look at the cock ring hour hand, this is the same variant that Archie's getting, but obviously your favorite, the cloisonné dial.
I don't like the fonts. I think it's a gimmick. I hate the font on that. It's so ugly, and it says Patek on the bezel. It's so fucking tacky, and it's just such a fucking tacky watch. I like the cock ring, but everything else is. It's like I think I think a lot of these Swiss guys, they just kind of miss. It's like JLC. They just sometimes just miss by a millimeter. They could have had a masterpiece, and they end up with this thing.
All right, so I got Watch Lux, and I'm missing one equals here, titanium. So Watch Lux, we try to educate on this channel. Dodger says I do somewhat of a decent job as a second grade watch teacher, I guess. But he's asking the material. So for you Watch Lux or anybody who doesn't know Patek references, when you see a letter at the end of the number of the reference number, that'll indicate the metal. So I've kind of listed it here that if you see a J, like this one's a 5131J, it's a yellow gold. If it's a G, it's a white gold. If it's a P, it's a platinum. And if you see A, like the 5711 -1A, that means steel. Patek does do very, 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 very few titaniums. They do exist. I do recommend you check them out. I don't know, Watch Reaper, if you've ever seen a Patek in titanium, but they do make it.
I was at the Miami Beach Antique Show. Was it last month? And there was a guy that had a couple of ellipse, like wacky ellipse models in steel on the mesh bracelets. Like kind of chunky.
Okay.
You ever see those?
Honestly, I'm probably the only guy you're going to find on YouTube besides maybe Archie that actually likes the ellipse. Very, very few people are fans of it, unfortunately, but I actually do love it. Classic 60s design.
I think it's the best. I like the weird shapes. I like their weird, there's another guy. What's his name? That guy, John Reardon. John Reardon. He's a fan of the ellipse.
Flexibility. Yeah.
he's pushing it. He basically he buys up all the ellipses. He's basically the main buyer for them.
So the watch you showed yesterday or the day before on your stream, the one with sapphires, that was the 5271 with sapphires. This is the same reference, 5270. So no, it doesn't have obviously any gems, but it's in titanium. Okay, so this is a 5270 in titanium. Now, the only person, you know, there's maybe one or two people in our chat that may be able to get this. Definitely, I'm not one of them. But Watch Reaper, what do you think? Scroll down, see some photos.
You know, it's a beautiful. I mean, you know, it's a beautiful watch. Actually, even I don't even mind the lugs. Somehow they seem to work. It's.
Would you like titanium in your dress watch? Would you want titanium as a dress?
Not on a Patek. No, not on the dress watch. But here's the thing. Here's my issue with these watches is kind of like this type of thing. I don't know where does it fit. It's not. Is it a sport watch? Is it a dress watch? Like nobody's really using this, you know, as a sport watch. I mean, nobody's using this like to go hiking or whatever. You know, they're not be playing golf in this. It's a dress watch, but it's like very big. That's the thing I have. It's like they're like kind of all over the map. It looks wise. It's a great looking watch. I mean, I think it's a great looking watch, and it's, you know, obviously, you know, you have the Patek freaks. They all want something unique, right? The titanium is very unique for Patek, right? So it's going to be, what does that probably sell for? Yeah, I did see Tim. He was wearing like a goofy. This is why I put up this photo. Some goofy hat. It was like,
for those that don't know, like I'm not just a big Patek fan. I'm also quite a vintage Rolex fan as well. And so onto JB's comments. Did you see Tim ride the Miami Antico? So not this year, but last year, Tim saw this watch in a case or something, and he said, "Oh, what a nice tritium watch," because he saw the T in the middle, completely oblivious that this is a mil sub 5517. I don't know if I don't remember exactly which mil sub he had on the show, but like he completely was like, "Oh, nice tritium vintage Rolex." It's like, dude, like this is one of the a very, very rare Submariner, and the guy just completely was oblivious to what the fuck it was. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, you know, it's I'm not a fan of vintage Rolex, like only because, I mean, you know, when I say vintage, I mean like I like stuff or whatever from the 70s, late 60s. I mean, this stuff is like too much. Yeah, you know, to me, it's
All right, Reaper. Let's go down the motherfucking rabbit hole, because you got the zeal on the fucking show right now, and I'm gonna pull up some weird fucking roll eye for you. And we're gonna get the Reaper's take. We get the hot take from the Reaper here. All right, what do you think of the Rolex Bao Dai? The Bao Dai. Talk to me.
No, I love that. I love that watch. And it's like, I don't know why. How come they can't release that? How come they can't re-release that? Why won't they re-release that?
They could. And honestly, this is where I think the Cellini kind of fucked up, right? Because I think what people like about this is you actually have Rolex DNA. This looks like, you know, an Oyster case or it looks like a fucking Rolex. You know, like you can tell it's a Rolex, but you can also tell it's a special Rolex, right? Because it has a moon phase, has a calendar function. You know what's interesting too is Rolex is one of the only brands that actually, you know, if you look at the moon phase, they got a little face on the moon phase. Not a ton of brands do that.
No, I like that. It's an old school. It's like the old, you know, they were doing that like in the 30s. You know, what's his name? Universal Genève had that. You know, the different expressions. I think it's cool. It's charming.
This is a good point from Duco, right? So Duco's kind of responding to you here, Watch Reporter. He's saying, you know, obviously Rolex, you know, they release complications. Why would they? Because, you know, they're making massive margins on simple watches. That's probably what they're thinking. He's thinking they're just being lazy. They don't have to compete.
You know, what do they say? You know, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, right? So, but I mean, like, you know, if I had an opinion, like, I'm sure the Rolex people like give a shit, but I would think that it would be good for them to have a couple of prestige watches, like complications, because that's kind of like their, you know, they want to flex a little bit. You want to have like one rare flagship, yeah, kind of like what JLC does. But nobody gives a shit about JLC. Nobody gives a shit about JLC. But they have some amazing watches at the very, very high end, right? So I think it's good. You know, it's like it's good for these brands to have like, you know, one or two like super special models that like really sets the bar and shows you what they're capable of. You know, they're lazy. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Let me pull up another example of, obviously not the Bao Dai, but I'm going to pull up a Padalone. because this is a beautiful watch I found, and it's like, honestly, for me, like, this is what Rolex should have fucking done with the Cellini. Like, look at this. Like, how can you not like this watch?
I don't know why they stopped doing this, you know. And look, the smooth bezel looks good. The whole thing is good. If they had the new style clasp, which without the stand metal would be even better. But look, I don't know why they don't do this now, because this is the type of thing, you know, like you said, this basically is what the Cellini should be, right? Maybe like the Cellini should be like their, you know, sort of more refined line, right? Like the Cellinis that they have now, who the fuck wants to buy that? It's garbage, you know. It's like, I don't know, it's just garbage.
It's garbage and trash. It's garbage and trash. You know what? This is a good time for us to do a little bit of a commercial break. So we do have the watch reporter here. He is, you know, he doesn't know everybody in the Archieverse. So obviously, introduce yourself, say hi to him. He's just actually, I think he's just encountered Higgy, so we'll give him a bit of Higgy history here. So this is Higgy versus JJ.
I genuinely tried to do JJ a favor, pulling your ass out 1 week before a certain event. This is so obvious what you're doing.
This is why nobody likes you.
Pulling your ass out. This is all part of the script.
You always got to be the guy with the last word.
You're the big cool guy. Your ass out.
Because you're a baby. You're not that smart.
ASMR fucking watch talk. Be my fucking guest.
I tried to do you a favor. I fucked you.
You couldn't just let it fucking go, right? You gotta just keep pushing. Gotta push it.
So you just want to push it because you're a baby. And you made a channel with them trying to troll me.
Your ass out.
That's how much you took it to heart.
Ooh, big boy.
You're not that smart.
What are you talking about?
Tommy probably knows.
You're not exactly known for smooth transactions and making friends, are you?
Your ass out. You triggered so hard. Ass out. It's so funny.
Tommy probably knows.
Let's suck OC's cock.
Go ahead. You've got to jump from side to side.
Does it hurt?
You got 40 subscribers.
I'm going to ask Higgins something, and I want him to answer honestly. Can you do that, Higgins?
Look, you're not gonna tell me what I'm gonna reply or not.
You fuck me, you moron. What are you?
That is just another lie.
Yeah, I know. Don't tell anyone but Germans. Real favor.
What are you talking about? This is so obvious what you're doing.
Stop coming on all the channels promoting your little bullshit. Nobody cares. You could go make fun of my watch, which is one of the hottest watches out, but you can make fun of it. Okay. No, I'm not a little child. You're the little child who keeps bringing it up.
You're triggered. You're triggered so hard. It's so funny.
You want to be a dick? Now we'll play hard.
You're the big cool guy.
ASMR fucking watch talk. Be my fucking guest. He's now banned from every channel or I'm out. Now you want to see Diva?
Go suck OC's cock.
Colonel, we're doing ASMR fucking watch talk today.
What is that? By the way, what is ASMR? What does that mean exactly? Like, what is that?
Ah, man, like, you ever seen those ASMR videos where it's just like fucking people like ripping shit apart, like not saying anything? It's like,
what is that? What does that mean? Like, I've come across that.
I don't know, man.
What is the
ASMR is the new buzzword. It's the new fucking buzzword of the day.
Oh, that's what all the kids are into. That's the cool kids thing.
Cool kids. Now I'm showing you a cool Rolex. I told you we're gonna do a bit of unusual Rolex today.
Yeah.
So this is a prototype of the Yachtmaster. Doesn't look much like a Yachtmaster though, does it?
Yeah.
Because you can actually see it says Cosmograph on it. It says Rolex Cosmograph Yachtmaster.
Yeah, I heard. Where did I see this? I saw this. Where did I see this mentioned recently somewhere? Was this at an auction recently or something? This funky.
No, I think you're thinking of the Yachtmaster that was sold by Rolex's president. His family sold it.
No, not that one. That was in white gold, I think, right? That was white gold or something. Yeah,
it was like a one-off, like a piece unique. And look, we have a punter in our group that's very, very, like, he knows Rolex. Like he knows Rolex, and he was telling us a bit about like the story and stuff. So yeah, definitely a cool watch, but it was different than this. This is the actual prototype for the Yachtmaster. So really interesting to see how Rolex is kind of like they're thinking of a chronograph, and then obviously it turns into a different complication. But this is what the Yachtmaster could have been, boys and girls. The Yachtmasters. And by the way, ASMR, autonomous sensory meridian response.
There we go. There. Also, we were before we were talking. My thing with the vintage Rolex is this: I don't see the value. I know in theory, yes, because there's buyers, But a lot of these watches, they look kind of like, they're like tomato. It's made out of tomato can metal. It's kind of pretty basic. It's kind of banged out. Why would I pay 50 grand for that Explorer or that Submariner? That's kind of I don't know. To me, it's just it's hard for me to understand it. I get it. I get that there's a market, but I see paying that type of money for a beautiful watch, like a dress watch, like a Patek or AP or whatever. I don't understand paying that type of money for Submariner or something.
No, it makes sense. I agree with you. We got Mr. GMT in the chat. Hey boys, good to see the Colonel with the main man Tan doing watch talk. Good to see you, Mr. GMT. Good morning. I pulled up a Patek Philippe coin watch. It's in a rare gold United States America $20. Sold for $47,000 fucking dollars, man. Shit. This is something I don't understand, but it's like the pocket watch.
It's cool.
Yeah, these are rare. Like the 803s are rare. The coin watches are definitely rare. But it's just like these is something you would spend 50 grand on.
Not me personally. But it's cool. I think it was John Reardon did a video where he said that he actually got one because somebody actually bought a coin. They bought this $20 coin. What is it, like a Saint Gaudin or something? And then they realized something was wrong. And they clicked it. There it is. It's a pocket watch inside. And they brought it to him.
That's exactly it. It's a pocket watch. Like you said, it's a pocket watch.
They thought they were buying and then they got this.
Well, JB likes it as well. So I guess JB and the Watch Reporter have very similar tastes. Very, very similar tastes. Watch Reporter, you're familiar with the Archieverse. You know a couple of characters in the Archieverse, right?
Yeah.
You're getting to know people. People are saying hello to the Watch Reporter. By the way, guys, I dropped the link for the Watch Reporter's channel in the chat. He's going to be doing live streams. I've had to give him a bit of insight into when the streaming times are for Archie, which is for him, he's Pacific time. So 2:30 Pacific to 5:30 Pacific is when Archie streams. Okay. So if you do it anytime before, anytime after, generally speaking, the Archieverse is usually pretty good.
Okay, for me, like 6 o'clock is 6 o'clock Pacific, which is 9 p.m. Eastern. To me, that's actually
not a bad time. It is a good time. And look, like I think a lot of folks would appreciate the types of watches you're talking about. Obviously, high end. You talk about Rolex, you talk about Patek, but you also talk about other stuff and. You critique watches like we all do. And, very, very interesting perspective, guys. I'd encourage you guys to check out his channel. We are spruiking the Watch Reporter here, guys, today. Spruiking.
High spruiking. Yeah. No, so like I'm going to be doing like, look, I'm interested in, I'm a basic guy. I like the aesthetics. I'm interested in the market of the watch, like prices, things like that. It's, I'm not I'm not like going into deep dive mechanical, is this a, tourbillon with whatever. That's that Jonathan Higgins. I'm not into the Jonathan Higgins, category. I'm like, so I think we're gonna do one. We're gonna be doing one on like some of the auctions, some of the recent auctions.
Are you gonna cover like Phillips?
No, the basic ones. Because there's probably like a dozen auctions each week of watches. Like in Europe, there's stuff. In France, there's like. Who's that guy? There's a bunch of different ones, online ones. There was actually one for the, I was actually going to mention this. I did a video on the Tiffany Dial, Tiffany Dial Premium. What do you think of that Tiffany Dial Premium for Patek?
Oh, look, you and I chatted about this, right? Like, obviously, people pay for the little stamp and obviously the box and everything, but there are Tiffany Tiffany Pateks like World Times that don't have the Tiffany stamp because they're too busy on the dial. So, and people are paying, obviously less premium, but they're still paying a premium for it, which is, I think it's a little crazy. But
how much? But here's the question. I get it. It's nice to have to say, oh, it's Tiffany. Okay. But how much are a premium? Because you know what? You saw, I did a video. I said, hey, these fucking Nautilus, it's a 4x premium to have a Tiffany thing. That's crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Like there was a guy who posted one. There was a guy who posted one on, I found it. This is from, I believe this is the one. This is on Rolex forums. It's 5230 platinum. We looked at this earlier. And when I scroll, I was looking at this ad a little while ago, and no, this isn't it. Because in the ad, it's a similar price, but it has obviously the blue TIFF. Oh no, here it is. This is the right one. Yeah, because this is all you're getting, by the way. Is this fucking outer box. There's literally no Tiffany on the. There's no Tiffany on the dial.
Oh, so all you get is the box. You just get a Tiffany box.
Privileged to buy this paddock from Tiffany. That's about it. So some of them are just too busy that they don't even put it on the dial, even though this is a Tiffany world. That's
a ripoff. I would insist on having the Tiffany thing. I mean, that's crazy. And you got space. There's plenty of space for Tiffany. There's plenty of space.
I agree. Lemon Curly, $10. Refreshing to have wash talk with attitude. ASMR is for sissies. Tan, what's our friend opinion on other wash tubers? Worst to best. Who's the grifters? Okay, before you answer that, Colonel, I'm going to play a quick video because I know you're a huge fan of Tim Wright. So I'm going to play one for you here, Watch Reporter, before you get to answer Curly's question.
What do we have to do for some clips around here? Come on, man. 3 years. It has really transformed my life. It changed it completely. I don't do anything else. I'm not fucking painting doors. I'm just
riding the dicks of these cunts.
Uh-oh. You guys were willing enough to support me sucking dicks of these cunts.
I'm riding dicks.
Oh, she's gonna do it.
Too long, so long. Riding the dicks. The dicks of these cunts. So long.
He's riding the dicks of these cunts.
So long.
Dicks of these cunts.
Just riding dicks. Riding dicks.
You like it, don't you?
We're riding dicks.
Dick riding fucking line.
Like if I made a live stream and I titled "They're riding dicks," it works really well in the search engine. All these people in the chat, they're just riding dicks.
They jumped on it. They jumped on it
without touching.
Jumped on
dicks.
They were riding dicks.
We're taking you guys with us.
I'm a fat 8 inches, mate. Forget the 6 inches.
If there's anything I can do, Mookie,
riding.
since this last fight.
We're riding dicks here.
That's it. I'm riding dicks here.
He's riding dicks here.
Riding dicks. I'm actually glad I was born with just one eye. Here. Haters.
You dick riding fucking line.
We're riding dicks.
Quattro D.
Gay bar, have dinner.
Let's go.
He's riding the dicks of these cunts.
They're riding dicks. Spooky.
This might be like a prisoner exchange.
It's like hiring a hitman.
What do we have to do for some clips around here?
Watch Nicholas come back. I'm riding dicks here. I'm riding dicks here. I'm riding dicks here.
Thank you. Thank you.
What is this?
All right.
Do you play this? Is that for the bathroom break? Is that what you do? You play these?
Yeah, we add a bit of fun into the show there, Colonel. You gotta learn here. I'm a seasoned vet at streaming on the ArchieLuxury. I don't do it very often anymore because I like being in the chat. Curly knows it's all the fun's in the chat. But Mookie, I don't know if you met Mookie. He actually plugged your channel earlier. He's got a channel himself. Yeah, it's called Jorts Fanatic. So if you want to check out Mookie, amazing clips. So Curly has a question for you there, Watch Reporter. What's your opinion on other Wash YouTubers? We saw a few there. What's worst to best? Who's the grifters? Who's your favorite? This is for our good friend Curly.
Yeah, it's interesting because so here's the thing. Look, Archie is. We all know that he's the original guy. He's been doing this 12 years plus, right? And he started out doing it for the love, for the community, for the love. Listen, it became kind of a business, right? And I think you have a lot of guys who kind of jumped on this live streaming thing because it's kind of easier in a way than creating content, right? and there's a lot of grifters that jumped onto it who are basically, they're trying to do these long live streams to milk the punters. It's sort of like they're like a hooker in an Amsterdam window. They figure the longer they're there, maybe some punter will come in. They're waiting for that whale to come in there and drop a $100 super chat, and so I think these guys, it's no longer about the watch talk. It's just like, just wankery, just masturbation, a bunch of guys in a circle jerk. I think a lot of these live streamers are listen, I get it. We kind of like, people, but a lot of these things are just an excuse for like I don't know, like a circle jerk, guys jerking each other off. I don't know. It's like Tim. That's what I think the Tim Wright thing is. But if I had to rank kind of the wankers, I think, look, and by the way, I respect the hustle. I respect that Tim, he puts an effort. It's not easy to do what is it, do a 4-hour live stream? That's a lot of work. To entertain the punters for 4 hours, it's work, right? So, he's earning his money. I don't think he delivers any value. And it's a lot of just, again, masturbation. I think, the leprechaun, the Venetian leprechaun is another grifter, but that guy's a mega grifter. He's a real grifter. I think Tim's heart is in the right place. He's like entertaining guy. I think the other guy is kind of like a very dark grifter. That's, that
Look,
guy's
Colonel,
like,
I'd love to have you and Curly on a panel one day, because he does a lot of our in-depth analysis on a lot of the characters around the Archieverse and whatnot, and I think he'd be able to give you, he's a lot of insight and perspective that a lot of folks don't see, and but I think he would agree with you on that. But you do have another question here, Colonel. You need to be getting these super chats. $5, loose tooth. Mr. Watch Colonel, how bad is Marcelo? Obviously, he knows who he is. Guy with the birds audio.
The audio is not great. The audio could use help. It's hard to him on track also, because I'm trying to talk about a time that's kind of going off the rails on multiple tracks. Like we're trying to keep things. So it's interesting. It's interesting. The thing has evolved. I haven't kept track of the live streams like in the last maybe like, I don't know, couple of years, like 2 years or so. So like I don't know what's been happening that much. I mean, I see it every once in a while, but like, I haven't been on it for the last. So I don't know. There's a lot of the Archie has evolved. It's evolved a lot. I think he's doing 2 shows a day now, right? Like I think he's doing 2 shows a day.
Yeah, like here's the thing. I think you haven't really. It may not have kind of hit your radar, but like we have a network of shows like within the Archieverse, right? We have ArchieLuxury, as you mentioned, has 2 shows. He has his main show, which is in the evenings in the United States. He's got a morning show, which is his evening show, which is for his Australian punters. But then we also have JJ. JJ's or the Watch Hangout now. Used to be JJ's Watch Hangout. He's actually doing.
He's part of the art. Is that part of the Archieverse?
Yeah, JJ's part of the Archieverse. Yeah, he cut his teeth here. He was, Archie had lost a bunch of his panelists a few years ago, and JJ hopped on, and him and Archie have clicked ever since. And JJ runs a good stream. He's got a good crew of guys. A bunch of them we're supporting here, Duco, and a bunch of others, obviously Curly and Mookie and Gary and everybody else who are big fans of JJ's. But yeah, no, JJ's part of the Archieverse. He streams generally 3 nights a week. His usual times are Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday after Archie. So if you're looking to do a show, you kind of want to usually the pre-Archie shows. We've got 54 people watching right now, and it's 3:30 on the East Coast, for example, right? So it's definitely got some merit. We do have some more super chats here for you, Mr. Watch Reporter. So I'll address this to you. Sam Davis said 2 British pounds. How has he means WN, not NW. How has Watch Nicholas fell out with Mookie? Maybe I'll answer that because maybe the Colonel's not apprised. I don't think Watch Nicholas and Mookie have had a falling out. I've seen Mookie around his channel. Mookie's a very chill guy, and I don't think he's bothered by too much. He spends his time helping the Archieverse and making great clips and just being a really, really great part of the Archieverse. And I don't think Mookie has any fallouts with anybody. Mookie's doing his own thing, and he's just we're happy to have him here.
Yeah. By the way, 10, I would be happy to have a debate with what's his name? That Lange guy. Was it Jonathan Higgins or whatever?
Higgins? I sent him the link. I sent him the link. Colonel, I sent him the link. He's chicken shit. He won't come on.
Just because, listen, by the way, I respect somebody who's willing to pay, 50 grand plus for, a mechanical watch. You got to respect that, right? Because he's really into the mechanics. That's what he's into. I respect that completely. My problem is the aesthetics of the watch and the value. That's my only issue. Like, again, I think they're fighting the last war, the basically the thing about accuracy, like he was going on and on about accuracy. The accuracy war was won by Quartz and by Casio. Okay. So that war is over. It's won. It's been settled. That debate is settled. The accuracy debate has been settled. The only debate now is aesthetics. Okay. Right now it's the aesthetics are what matter, and some kind of innovation of complication, some little extra gimmick. I think that's what matters. How the movement, all the other stuff. I think that stuff is not as interesting for the market. I think in the kind of the reality. Again, that's just my opinion.
And I think that's with a lot of things too, right? Like, I mean, how many people go to specifically look for a car because of the engine, right?
This is exactly the point I was going to say. Look, here's the thing with a car. The engine does matter. The way it sounds, like the performance, you feel it, right? The engine, you do feel it. You feel the movement. With a watch, you don't feel the movement. It doesn't make any difference to you about the movement. Unless you look at it, you take the watch off and you look at it, you're not gonna know anything about what's under the hood. With a car, absolutely, there's a big difference between a 12-cylinder and a 4-cylinder, or even an 8. In the way it sounds, exhaust. Big difference.
Absolutely. We got Jamie Opulence, €5.99. We got the European crew here, Colonel. I did a European show.
The Euro trash is invading.
Well, Jamie's okay. Jamie's our friend. So I got Jamie's watch up here on the screen for you to give us a little watch reporter review. So he says €5.99. Wonderful discussion. He says Patek is good. So Jamie's part of our crew. He's a Patek guy. So this is the 5231J. So this is the latest iteration of the World Time with your favorite dial configuration.
Yeah, I think Jamie, he got that 5396 with the baguettes. I think he got that watch. I think he commented on one of my old videos of that review. Yeah, this watch, I said this before. I hate this watch. It's like what the fuck is it? Like what? It's the design to me is ugly. The font is ugly. Did I make my point clear? I mean, was I
Jamie, hop on, man. Hop on and fight the Colonel. Fight the Colonel, because a lot of the Archieverse.
Am I being too subtle?
Look, we want the honest truth here. We don't grift. We tell the fucking truth. We don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We got fat windbag.
Like, I think Jamie basically, I kind of get the sense that this guy wants something that's a little flashy, and that's fine, right? Like. Yeah, I think he's probably a hardworking guy. He wants to enjoy himself, and I think he should basically. There's better things he can buy for his money, which would give him that bang for the buck, where you have that a little flash, a little, and you have some quality. There's better, listen. Like for example, you know what? I think. What is the value of this watch? What is it, like 100,000? What is it? How much is?
Yeah, there's 100 to 120,000.
I mean, listen, I think what he should do is he should basically, I think he's got to, if he put this together, he basically should sell this and his Patek 5396. Jamie is the guy that should get that Vacheron tourbillon with the baguettes. That is the watch for Jamie. He should basically consolidate and get one ultra heavy hitter. And that watch, because that watch, you could run a rubber. You can go swimming. You go swimming into the watch, tone it down, put it on the, and it goes instantly, right? They got this great technology. This is the watch that Jamie should have. If he was a real man, Jamie, if you really stepped it up.
Yeah, look, I think Jamie's got a decent response. So Jamie travels a lot. Like he's one of the guys I think that's probably met the most Archieverse people across the world. He says, I want something that represents my mad love for travel, had it a couple of years and I adore it. So, big, Jamie, if you want to hop on, definitely, we're having a good paddock discussion here, and everyone's welcome. Just hop on the links. The links pinned.
I think these guys make a travel time which is based on the JLC, because I have that JLC, dual time. I think I called it dual time. I don't know what they call the Geographique calendar. I think that's a better. So here's the thing with the dual time. Again, I like to see time moving. So to me, I like to see dials. I like to see 2 dials. I want to see the main dial, and I want to see the second time.
I'll be a little. I like JLC. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big Reversal fan, but this whole watchmaker bullshit. It's like fucking Edda's a watchmaker too. Get the fuck out of here. Just because you make it watch movements doesn't mean you're the watchmaker's watchmaker. Fuck out of here. We got this super chat for you. I'll let you read this super chat. This one's for you from Fat Windbag Ben. 10 Scottish British pounds.
Who is the Whiskey Creeper? I don't know these guys. Who's that? Is that an Archie guy?
His name's the Whiskey Reaper. He's got his own channel because when fucking Marcelo didn't know how to say watch reporter, he kept calling you Watch Reaper. You became the fucking Whiskey Reaper. We love Fat Windbag Ben. Ben, I'm in Edinburgh right now for a couple of days. Give me a shout. Shoot me an email. We got another super chat here from my friend America 5726. Hopefully, America, you're back on the paddock train. $9.99 US. Cheers, Tan. Glad to see you back with the show. Always love the informed and thoughtful discussions. I think it's time to leave Lange behind and focus on paddock. This is a good point here, Watch Reaper. We can pivot here to Lange because I really want to resurface that discussion around. You had some choice words about the Higgins watch, and this is it. The Pour le Mérite Tourbillon.
What is his background? Was he a watch salesman or something? He worked at a retailer. Was that his background?
Long time ago. This was probably 40 years ago. He worked. It's probably one of his first jobs, right? I don't know what he does for work, but definitely a very very big watch enthusiast. And look, Lange fanatic, right? When I first met him, he was. It's funny. You and I literally said the same thing to him. He was on about Lange, and I wrote in the chat, Lange is a Phoenix brand, has no fucking history. And he lost his shit, man. He lost his shit.
Listen, here's the thing with Lange, right? Here's the thing, Lange, this thing with the history of bullshit, all these companies, they give you the story, the song and dance about, Breguet, they all been around 500 years. What they don't tell you is that they were out of business for, probably 100 years or whatever, and somebody else, bought the name, and so this Lange thing is I think a bunch of hype. It's basically listen, the Russian watches, the Vostok, right? Because what happened was after the war, and by the way, we know that Lange. Let's bring up the point that Lange was basically Hitler's favorite watch company. Lange was they were ardent supporters of Hitler. They actually made a special pocket watch for him. Hitler bought Lange watches for all his top guys, right? They were ardent supporters. They made watches for the SS, everything else. Right? You can go with that a whole history, right? But here's the thing. So after the war, the Russians basically took over that town, right? It was in East Germany. And they took all the machinery. They basically took all the machinery. By the way, I heard the story from a Russian guy because I had this Vostok watch, and the guy who is a Russian watchmaker, he said, "Oh yeah, but I remember this because he was telling the story. Yeah, basically the Russian watch or the Soviet watch industry was basically garbage up until the 1950s. They didn't know how to make watches. What they did was they took all the watches from what's the name of that town again? What the hell is it called?
La
Suta. They basically just packed everything up. They took all the machinery, all the parts, and a bunch of the workers as basically slave labor. They shipped them out to Russia, and that's how they started their watch industry. So if you buy a Vostok from the 1950s, like I have one, I got from my grandfather. That's Lange. That's the real Lange. The Lange today is basically, it's bunch of marketing gimmicks. But listen, they do make. I'm not going to argue that the mechanics of it is, very impressive, and it's got beautiful finishing. But the whole point of the watch is what you're going to wear to take it off, and hey, take a look at the back, take a look at my finishing. Yeah, I mean, nobody. Have you ever met anybody who basically tries to impress women by, taking a Ferrari and saying, hey, baby, check out this engine. You know, I mean, it's not
I'll tell you
about the
something.
engine. It's the looks. It's the looks,
It's exactly
right?
it's the looks.
You
Well, we
buy it
do
for
have a
the look.
super chat about looks. We have a super chat about looks here. We got Sam Davison, 5 British pounds. If you could have any metal, any of what metal would you get in the 59? If you could have any what metal would you get a 5970 in? So he's asking which metal. 5970, for those that don't know, is a perpetual calendar chronograph. It is the previous version to the latest one. It was using the modified Lamania based movement. So I'll show you a couple of the colors here. The metals. This is the rose gold. Not a huge fan of this one. Here's the white gold. Watch Reporter, I don't think you would specifically pay that much money for a silver dial. And then we got the J.
I don't like the white gold. I think yellow gold looks very good on this. It gives it like a nice classic, it gives it a nice warm look with a white dial.
I would agree. Either the yellow gold, probably if you want to be on a bit of a budget, or if you want to be a baller, you get the motherfucking platinum. This is of the era when Patek would do black dials for their platinum watches. So
you know what's funny? I remember seeing it when I early in my collecting career. I remember Patek was doing the black dial Neptune. Do you know this Neptune?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that up. I know exactly what you're talking about because it's the one with the movement that's like the 5712.
It's all the same stuff. Yeah, it's the same stuff. It just had this Neptune, and I remember seeing that. I was like, well, I don't know. I didn't know because listen, this is before really the internet really was around. Like there was no like information. Like you didn't know what else they were doing. All I saw was this Neptune, and with that dial, it's basically your 5712 right there.
It is, and this is what Archie always says, because if you see the layout of the dial, right, you got your moon phase, you got your date, you got your power reserve, and you got your small seconds, right? Like it is a complicated watch, but if you go to the Patek 5712, you're gonna see the same layout, in the Nautilus. It's like
I actually, if the price was right, I would buy one, the Neptune, because I think it's just as a value play. It's a cool watch. Just as it's fugly. It's fugly. It's not ugly.
Fugly. We like the fugly watches. All right, we got a couple of super chats we got to catch up on.
Fugly.
Reaper, you're bringing in the super chats today. I don't know what's going on here. We got WatchLux 299 Canadian super sticker. It is a dancing lemon that says cool. I didn't just say dancing lemon. All right, we got the next one here. We got a member chat from the original OC who says, cheers to all. Member for 8 months. Thank you, OC, for being a member. Cheers to all. Great watch talk has no sides. True say.
By the way, what do you think? Oh, this is I want to ask you, Tan. I mentioned this. I want to get your opinion. The Nautilus, right?
Yeah.
I mentioned my thoughts about the Nautilus. I'm getting kind of thinking lately that this design might be a little kitschy. It might be a little dated. I'm concerned it may not stand the test of time. So it looks dated compared to the Royal Oak. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I've owned one of these, and look, I would agree that it could probably age not very well. I don't think it's aged greatly, in my opinion. Does it fit nice on the wrist? It's slim. It's a cool watch. It's a 30K watch, guys. Like I own this watch.
Yeah.
Not the 12. I own the 11, the non complicated one, but it's not a 100K watch, right? This is a 30, 40K watch at best. It's got the 324 movement on the original 5711. This one has the different. I think this one has the 240, I believe. Has the 240 movement, the micro rotor. So this one's actually, like, I know JJ is a big fan of this watch, and I never was a huge fan of this just because I didn't really like the complication, but I think I've grown a bit of an appreciation for it. But I would agree, like, if I owned both at the same time, Watch Reporter, and I preferred my 15300 Royal Oak to my 5711 Nautilus.
So here's the thing. So my thoughts on this Nautilus is that, as a vintage design, like if you're talking about if you're getting one of these in the 1970s, in the 80s, maybe into the mid 90s, I think it makes sense. In other words, it's sort of like, it's acceptable. It's acceptable to buy a watch like this from the 90s because, okay, the watch, it's a vintage design. Okay. But to make that design today, and all the variations, I think it's disrespectful to the punters, because you're basically giving them like, I don't know. It's like, it's an old design. It's sort of like a King Midas. It's like all of a sudden they're doing a King Midas today. Like, okay, we're going to do a King Midas with a perpetual. We're going to do a King Midas dual time. You know, it's like it's kind of a dated design. I would have loved to have bought a 3800 dual, you know, two-tone with a blue dial. I would have. That's the one watch that got away. It was amazing on my wrist, but you know, it's a dated look. I mean, I wouldn't buy a new one if they made it new. I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah, for sure. We got a couple of super chats I got to go through here. Hey Curly, how's it going? Let me just blast through these super chats real quick, Curly. We got Apes, 5 pounds, Tan Colonel. Would you get the 5004P or the 5204 given the choice of either? So this is a split second perpetual calendar chronograph, very, very high end. I got the 5004P here. Honestly, I prefer the 5004 to the 5204. I actually dig this design a lot more. I'll show you the 5204 here in a second. Watch Reporter, real quick. It's just a more modernized version. You know, I think this is a personal choice. Sorry.
Is that loom? Are those markers loomed?
Yeah, there's loom on them. Yeah.
Oh, that helps. That's a big help, actually.
Yeah, it's more modern in that opinion, right? So it's just whether you like the aesthetic. I'm a 5004 guy. Archie's a 55204 guy. It seems like you may like the loom of this one, so you may go 5204. Let me blast through Sean Snowden, 5 pounds. Nice to see you, Tan. Thank you, Sean Snowden. I appreciate the UK support, guys. I was sitting here in my hotel room in Scotland, bored as fuck because no one's running a stream. And I said, "Fuck it, I'll just do one for the European folks." So
What
I'm
about
really,
the
really
sheep?
happy.
You got the sheep. You got the sheep there in Scotland. No, that's where the men are men and the sheep are scared.
We got Fat Win Bag. Tried the Hudley in Edinburgh for a good. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'll check it out. I'm looking for a good curry spot after the stream. All right, Curly, I think we're all caught up, my friend.
How are you, boss man? Welcome back. Welcome back. Finally, we got some afternoon good content. Watch Reaper, what's going on, buddy? Admire your work for a while. Hey, listen, I just wanted to let you know for a little news bulletin. Our friend OC here, what did he say? Cheers to all the great watch talk. Has no sides. Oh, OC, we know your work in the room. I mean, is it a coincidence, OC, that your boss just dropped this video as our boss has got some great watch talk going on, OC? Are you working the room, OC? Speaking of Tim Wright, here you go. He just happened to drop this, and they're going to start a stream early now because good content is never intimidated by amateurs. So here you go.
It's counter programming.
Hey, Watch Reporter. That's how these guys work. These amateurs that we got, our so-called competition. This is how they work. Our boss comes on, does some fantastic watch talk. He's going to put the community out of business. And they so happen to do this. This is a premiere, and they're going to be streaming early. So here you go. Here's their sense of watch content. They just dropped this fresh.
About this whole situation is that over something as stupid as a pair of sneakers, it showed me so clearly once again on just how divided our country is.
So that was
this guy
Roman Sharp.
is a genius. Paying 10 grand for the sneakers. You know how much press, how much publicity he got out of that?
Well, he's got all the carpetbaggers attaching themselves and riding his coattail because he went viral. Him and Paul Thorpe made a pivot to politics, and they're going viral. And now all of a sudden, you got the Riding Dicks crew is jumping on the political bandwagon. And we're doing AMSR Watch Talk is dead. Watch Talk with an attitude, boys and girls. That's what Wu-Tang brings us. And I want to congratulate you.
Curly, we got a super chat for the Watch Report. Watch Report, why don't you read this one out for us?
Who will be telling the Lux Report? What is Lux Report? What is that? Is that a real thing? Lux Report? What is it?
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's
a character?
Yeah, it's a character.
Oh, okay.
He's known. Yeah, look, Watch Reporter. Lux has a superpower that most of us don't have, and it's the superpower of backstaging people. And if you're ever on a panel with him, it's likely you may get backstage. So JB's asking who will be breaking the news to the Lux Report that he'll be replaced by the Watch Report. You seem to be a hit. The super chats are coming in, man. Curly, I don't know. You were watching the show. What are your thoughts?
Look, I mean, this is Watch Talk with an attitude. Explain high-end horology to me like I'm a 5-year-old, and you have my attention. You have my attention. There is no arrogance. There's no looking down the end of your nose. This is what I'm talking about. This is what the watch game needed. And you got the perfect two guys with the perfect attitudes. You got the Wu-Tang and you got the Watch Reporter. Guys, if you think that the Watch Reporter is some flash in the pan talent, you're wrong. Check out his body of work. He has over 150 videos. And let me ask you something. You tell me this is not creative. Please, let's put this up, okay? This is one of the videos from the Watch Reporter himself, okay? Now you tell me why do I like this guy? Who else makes a video like this? Patek and Ponies.
There we go, friends. That's what it's all about.
Look at this.
Patek Philippe 3940.
Look at now. I'm going to assume this is somewhere in the West, maybe New Mexico or something. But I mean, we got Kentucky Derby ponies. We got Patek, and we got a walk and talk in the middle of the desert with a Patek Philippe.
Top G of watches. It really doesn't get any better than this.
It doesn't get any better. Look at that. It doesn't get any better than this. Look at it. And then he goes on he takes us on a journey on the trails with him.
You know, it's
like National Geographic. It's like National Geographic over here.
What better
dude? I'm telling you. I mean, this is what I call gonzo streaming. This is what I call a body of content. Watch talk with an attitude, gentlemen. I will leave you to it, but guys, go and check out the Watch Reporter's channel. It's got 150 videos. Watch talk with an attitude, and as a matter of fact, guess who made a debut on there? I mean, you got to love this guy. He can actually take Marcelo's content and actually make it interesting. Check this out. This is from today.
Let's compare meteorites. By
the way,
Marcelo, this is the meteorite.
Oh wow, this is amazing.
So man, that's how fast this guy works, Tan. This is an appearance from last night. He's already made a video out of it, and it's actually fucking really, really cool. I mean, telling you, look, you got high-end meteorite, and you got entry-level meteorite, and it's fantastic. So, hey, listen, I hope that you make an appearance on Archie's main show. I would love for you guys to have a one-on-one.
Watch Reporter, why don't you drop some of the contact info in the private chat? Curly runs, he runs streams on Archie. He runs streams with Archie on the Dungeon on a few shows. I think it's a good. Like Curly's showcasing some of your content. I think it's a good thing. It helps promote the channel.
No, how do I?
Just so we understand, I'm not a watch guy. I love the attitude, buddy. So I like your attitude. The watch stuff, you know what? I mean, it's perfect for me. Attitude, watches. Tan coming back in the afternoon. This is fantastic. We've been waiting for this for a long, long time. Hopefully,
Curly, I'm trying to understand something. Marcelo told me yesterday that you actually are not into watches. Like
I'm a tattooed, as you would call me, a tattooed degenerate that loves drama and loves trolling. So I'm not the watch part of your shtick. I'm the troll part of your shtick, my man. And anything. I'm the troll part of your shtick. When you want to do drama and you want to troll, we got a channel to do that. It's called The Dungeon. But your watch talk with an attitude is a breath of fresh air around here. So I want to welcome you, and I hope that this turns out to be a long relationship. One hand washes the other. Be more than happy. If we coordinate if you're willing to coordinate with us.
Yeah.
No problem.
No, how do I give you my info on this thing here? So
if you look on the StreamYard there, Colonel, you can see private chat at the bottom. Just click into there. I put some of the contact info. Just if you have like WhatsApp or an email, just drop it in there, and only we can see it, like me, Curly, and yourself.
Okay.
I mean, Ted, if he's willing to do WhatsApp, throw him in the group, and we could coordinate stuff. So.
Okay, got it.
No problem.
Colonel. We try to because, like I said, there's this is an Archie network. It's not the ArchieLuxury channel. There's a network of channels.
Network, yes.
Yeah, and they go on throughout the day. Like I literally just got home from work and I was like, there's nothing on. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it. I can just do one. I can do a solo show myself, right? Obviously, graciously hopped on, and Curly and a bunch of the folks helping, but this is what we do. We have shows throughout the day to cater to different markets, like the UK market, for example, underserved. So we wanted to get our European fans some love.
Fuck yeah, that's exactly what we need.
Are underserved. What are you saying? There's
Literally very little content. No, Colonel, there's very little content.
You got what's his name? You got the leprechaun. You got the Venetian leprechaun.
No, hey, watch reporter. I'm actually going to do a special on the Venetian leprechaun tonight after Archie's show on the dungeon. He is now a professional tour guide for Venice that serves the Tim Wright Barossa watch community. So if you want to know what he's pivoting to, he's a little bit of watch talk, but he's pivoting to being a professional tour guide of Venice for all the deep pocket fucking watch guys that are on Tim Wright's channel. I'll be doing an exclusive on it tonight.
I think that guy is basically like, here's the thing. You got to realize, these guys are very, like, look, Tim, you got to give him credit that he's willing to spend 4 or 5 hours, really entertaining people. He's good at like dealing with like kind of like.
Hey, he shaves his head. He dyes his hair for $700. I mean,
he's like a street or whatever, like
prostitute.
Prostitute. You throw some dollars, they'll dance and shake your ass. They'll open the pussy, whatever you want. It's like one of those cheap strippers that they had in New York.
Listen. Don't you, Colonel? You like it, don't you?
Yeah, Tan's doing watch talk with an attitude. I'm gonna dip out, but anytime you want to do drama, we got a channel that's dedicated to it, buddy. So I hope to see you on Archie's stream. And Tan, listen, everybody's loving this. It's a success story.
We're going back to the high road. And we're going back to the high road. We're going back to the
yes. Go back to feeding ponies and walk and talk with an attitude on watch talk.
Let's do it, boys. Let's do it.
See you guys. Take it easy, buddy. Watch reporter. Welcome to the madhouse. Welcome to the degenerates.
Thank you.
See you, buddy.
Much.
Let's welcome the watch reporter. Watch reporter. Let's welcome you the right way. Like we're not gonna go just completely like soft. Let's give you a bit of fun here because you're like, hey, like what's this a lot like Archieverse about? Like what are these clips that you guys do and all these things, right? Like what is this stuff? So I want to show you some really just fun stuff we do in the Archieverse.
Hello, this is ArchieLuxury. ArchieLuxury on the ArchieLuxury channel.
Come to Thailand with us and find some of these pre-ups.
This is the second interview.
To push that shit.
Joined with my beautiful host,
Rise.
John Sakahorn.
Ryan, baby.
Hello, John. How are you?
Find some of these pre-ups. Push it. Rise, sunshine. Push it.
Flip 'em over.
Push that shit. Ryan, baby. Push it.
I'm just feeling really depressed at the moment, John.
Spot the Adam's apple.
Don't have another drink.
Push it. To push that shit. Push it. Ryan, sunshine. Push it. Slide it in there. Push it in the back door there, Push it.
Flip 'em over.
Maybe I was wrong to be friends with this guy in the first place.
Everything has a price in Thailand. Push it.
Flip 'em over.
Have a drink.
Push it.
I'm early, tucked the wrong lane. Stuck it in the header.
Push it. Tuck it in. Flip 'em over. Push it.
Where are we up to there?
We're up to nowhere, Jono.
Push it in the back door there, Push it.
Get in the header.
Slide it in there. Push it.
Trying to buy your wife.
If you're a Sheila, you got the rags on it.
Flip 'em over.
Push it.
Header.
Push it.
Don't have another drink.
Push it. Rise, sunshine. Push it.
The bitches don't put out.
It'd be your time of month. You got the rags on it.
I can't fucking understand this shit. You just talk to me in riddles.
Don't have another drink.
God damn it, Colonel! You talk to me in riddles. We got a question here from JBJB.
Listen, I've been watching Archie's thing for years. I just haven't seen a lot of the stuff in the last couple, I don't know a lot of the new stuff that's been going on. But Suckerhorn, actually, what happened to this guy? Like, he was really great. I love to see. Where is he? Is he alive?
He crossed the path with the wrong guy.
What does that mean?
You can take that for what that's worth. But we do have a question for JBJB. He says, "Watch reporter, how do you feel about contrast stitching on gator straps?"
Listen, I'm very into bespoke straps, right? I think if you have the right thing, and I think the only people who know how to do it is the French. Okay, they're like either it's Camille Fournier or Jean Rousseau. I think Jean Rousseau does very good stitching. They're into the contrast. I would say, it depends on the watch. It depends on the watch. Contrast is more of a sporty look, right?
Yeah, it is. For sure it is.
I prefer the flat. I'm not into the stitching. I like a thin strap, flat. But look, with like a Rolex, you maybe want a little, what do you call it? Padding, little contrast. Yeah, I think it's a cool look. I mean, I like.
Hey, go ahead.
I mean, I like Rolex on a strap. The vintage. Like, I would rather wear this, not steel. I'm not a fan of. I like if it was a gold one, I would love to get a gold one, put it on a strap. If you have the right buckle, you have a Rolex buckle, I think it'd be great.
Corbin Colossus, what's this stuff I heard about Ross on the Lux Aussie show? So Watch Reporter, like, as I mentioned, many shows go on. A lot of stuff moves. Like, it's fluid in the Archieverse. Beefs happen. People's feelings get stepped on sometimes. But hey, Watch Reporter, you're amongst friends here. You're amongst friends.
This is like a real ecosystem. You have a whole ecosystem with the whole economics. You got lives. You got multiple market forces.
I'm telling you, Colonel. The fact that you hopped on was me doing I was like, all right, I'll do a show, right? And this is how we do it, right? We have clips. We got obviously the chat that's driving a lot of the commentary, and obviously all the gracious people sending in super chats and donating their hard-earned money, right? Like it's a really good space. Like literally, I came home from work and it was like, fuck, this is where I want to be. So, I pulled up for you the 6542 Pussy Galore, the Pussy Galore Pepsi GMT, the OG. What do you think of the Bakelite bezel? Are you a fan of the vintage, or are you a modern guy?
Listen, I don't like the ceramic stuff. I don't like the thing I hate about these older Rolexes is those chimsy bracelets, those stamped metal bracelets. That's why I got rid of my first Rolex, is because I got it and I was like, man, this thing is really cheap. And this is this is back, I don't know, it was my 20, this is like 20 or 25 years ago, more, right? I was like, shit, this is cheap. I got a date instead because it had that hidden clasp, right? But I couldn't really wear the date. It was like, you can't really wear that when you're 20. Yeah, you can't wear that in your 20s, really. It's a little too flashy, so like this, I would wear this on a strap. These bracelets are garbage. I would love to wear a GMT. Even though I'm not a fan of that GMT movement, I would be into it on a strap. If you can pull up a gold GMT, like a 70, like a root beer or whatever, any kind of vintage GMT, it's been banged up, beaten up, but it's a nice block of gold.
If I want a strap, if I want to look at one on a strap,
I put on a suede strap. It would be amazing.
Yeah, no, not suede. This is some kind of fucking shitty leather.
Oh yeah,
but it's all right. It didn't look bad. This is I think the look you were talking about is putting it on a strap, right?
That. I would put on a suede. I would put on like something suede or something else. I don't know, maybe whatever. But this is a good look. I think this is a fucking amazing watch. It looks beautiful. What is this material? What is this dial? Is this is that the aging? Is that how it aged?
Yeah. Yeah, it's I believe this is a tritium dial. So
did somebody did somebody create that, or is that real patina? Is that because
on the strap, I'm not sure. It could be just aged fake.
No. I mean the watch. I'm talking about the dial. I'm talking about the dial and the bezel.
Oh, we got a guest here. We got our good friend Dis in Israel. How you doing, Dis?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, good to see you, man. How you doing?
You too. Hey, Colonel, Watch Reporter. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, same here. Nice to have you. So what do you think? Do you think this is a real aging, or is this like artificial aging?
Look, it doesn't look fake, man. It looks like there's a bit of like Dis and I were talking about this actually maybe yesterday or a few hours ago. Dis, we were talking about we were talking about vintage Seikos actually, and just how Rolex, when vintage Rolex, obviously relooming, the hands or the dial like is a big faux pas. It'll definitely lower the value of the watch. This doesn't look like it's painted. Like it's pretty. If you look at kind of the minute hand, it's you can see that the patina of the loom is a bit different than the hour hand. So I don't see it being like something that's like potentially reloomed. It's probably just aged this way, and it may not be in the greatest condition. So I'm not sure.
It's like a burgundy. I think that's a beautiful look. The burgundy and gold is a beautiful look.
Dis, have you ever seen the GMT Concorde? There's a GMT called the Concorde. It's similar to this. I'll pull it up. Yeah, it's a lot of folks didn't know about it actually, but I believe it came from an ad. I'll pull up a Concorde for you guys.
It's related to the Concorde,
Yeah, it's related. Yeah, it is. It's like if you were flying the Concorde. Let me see if I can find the ad. If you were flying the Concorde.
Oh, I see that. Yeah. If you were flying, you'd be wearing they're all that bullshit. Yeah.
But that's why they call that watch this. I'll pull up the ad here. This is why they call this
such. Their ads are so amazing. And I'm a student of advertising. I appreciate classic ads. The long Rolex had the best ads. They had the best like psychology. They're master marketers because what they're doing is with these ads, they're selling you a story like, hey, you wear this watch, you're like a jet setter, you got women want you, the ad with the Submariner, you see the woman reaching up, like touching the dial, like it's everything. It's all like they know how to push every button. It's genius advertising that Rolex was doing, and they're not doing it today. They're like kind of like now they're doing just basic, I don't know. They get some picture of a guy.
They don't need to anymore. It's like they don't need to.
Nah, you need to reinforce the message. You need to reinforce it. It's like they're not doing it though. It's kind of like but I don't know. Maybe the advertising industry has changed. Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah. So the difference was, so we showed the ad, right? And what's interesting if you look at the watch is like, and Dis, I want to get your take on these hands. Like, so look at the hour and the minute hands on this GMT compared to like what we're used to seeing on the GMT.
Yeah. Well, we're so used to the Mercedes, so it's kind of weird for me. But it's.
But does it work? Like Colonel, like does this work for this watch? Jubilee bracelet. Look at these crown guards. Like, I fucking like this. I don't see anything wrong with this.
No, it's good.
Until you mentioned it, nothing really bothered me. I think I'm kind of used to the older one. Yeah, I think I'm used to the the regular one. How should it be called? I'm not really. I'm not like the GMT connoisseur. I never really cared for them. I kind of know. Lately, I've been kind of noticing, but I like them only in the gold. I really don't like. I appreciate the Pepsi oil. I like the meteorite. I think that's cool. I don't like it in steel. So it's I never paid attention to them before. But I'm warming up to like the GMT or the Submariner in the gold case in the something that's I don't know 90s 80s. I'm into that. Like. Just for the look. I don't need any history. I don't need any story. I just like the look of it. Like a gold case on a leather strap or suede or rubber, and I'm happy.
Yes, what do you think of this one? So you got the interesting crown guards, different handset, obviously part of the ad. So obviously connected to the Concorde. I mean, like I said, my opinion was very positive. I want you to give us a good critique because the Colonel, he has his opinion and it's valid, and I want to hear yours.
Well, I have the 16710. What the 16710, right? 10.
Yes, GMT Master 2.
Yeah. So I don't like the nipples. I mean,
come on, man. Who doesn't like the nipples?
I don't like the nipple dial, but
you're an ass man, aren't you? You're an ass man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for real.
Colonel, what about you? Ass or titties, Colonel? Ass or titties?
It's interesting. There was actually, I was going to get into a story. There was a guy, I don't know, Tan, I'm not sure what era you're from, but do you remember Screw magazine in New York? Screw, it was actually a newspaper, but it was called Screw. Do Do you remember?
I was born in the 80s, so I'm not.
Actually, no, that would have been. Okay, so the guy, I'll go to the story, but the guy, the publisher of it, was actually a big watch collector. Okay, actually, here's the thing. Anybody watching this, Google Al Goldstein, fuck you videos. Al Goldstein, fuck you videos. So Al Goldstein was the publisher of The Screw, which was, it started out as basically a newspaper in the 70s or late 60s. Like basically reviews of like massage parlors, porn. It was very groundbreaking in its time because it was considered obscene, right? Like they sold it the guy was arrested like 20 times for obscenity, and he actually had he built a very successful business, and he had a public access TV show on cable in New York. It was called Midnight Blue. So if anybody Googles this, it is hilarious. I mean, the guy was like basically disgusting, but he's actually a very intelligent guy, like brilliant guy. But he was just he wanted to be a disgusting human being. And he was actually a big watch collector. He actually did a fuck you video to Audemars Piguet. I remember this from the 90s because that was the first time I heard of AP, was when Al Goldstein did a fuck you video saying that their watches broke. He had an offshore, of course. That was the flashy watch in the 90s, right? But anyway, so Al, to get to the point of it, I remember he did a video. He said, listen, there's only three kind of guys. There's the ass men, there's breast men, and there's guys who are into feet, right? And he said, that's like three different levels of intelligence. So the guys who are into breast, that's like the most basic. That's like you guys with the lowest IQ.
So that's half of our chat, man.
The ass man is a little more advanced. The ass man is a little more advanced because you kind of understand it's called the hips. It's sort of like, okay, it has some, and the guy, the feet man is the most intellectual because that's kind of very abstract. It has nothing related to like reproduction or anything, right? So there's no real reason to be into feet, right? Because, breasts, you get it's kind of hips, the feet is kind of the more intellectual. So that is the highest level of intellectual is the foot man.
I mean, speaking of intellectual foot fetishes, we got Mr. GMT on the panel.
What's up, boys?
What's going on?
Nice to finally speak to the Colonel. What's happening, brother? Look, I'm going to tell you something. A man that goes head to head with Higgins, and actually puts him in his place is my kind of man. So, Colonel, hats off to you, brother. I really love you, and I think you're a fucking superstar. And welcome to the Archieverse. I had to say it because you're the man that actually can go head to head with Higgins and really troll the fucking shit out of him when the time is right.
I was impressed. I was impressed that like Higgins couldn't pick up on the fact that Colonel was making up shit. But Higgins was like, no, Paddock's history is great. And Colonel's like, it was run by like a 7-Eleven owner. What are you talking about?
I loved it. I fucking loved it.
It was so good,
You're a
man.
fucking superstar, brother. You're a superstar. Oh, look, I'm at work now.
Just one thing before I go, GMT. Give me your thoughts on this Concorde, because you're Mr. GMT, please.
I love it. I fucking love it.
I think it's sick. I love the hands. It's just so different, right?
Yeah, man. It's gorgeous, man. Everything about it's gorgeous.
I'm waiting for the Colonel to say they stole hands from like a date just or something.
Probably.
I'm not that whatever. Until you mentioned it, I didn't even know, because again, I'm not that knowledgeable about these. But actually the nipples I think are great because I did handle
I love a good set of nipples. I love a good set.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing. In the light, they play. If they're gold nipples, they play with the light. If you have the dial, it looks really
They do. I've actually had one in my hand, a while ago in hand, and they do play with the light quite a lot actually. You are right. Definitely. They're beautiful, man. It's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, the nipples play with the light better than the bigger, the round, whatever you want to call them. But the problem is, you don't have as much lume. You don't have that. But in terms of aesthetics,
you gotta give and take, right? You can't have both. You gotta give and take.
Yeah.
What do you prefer? That's how I see it. But in saying that, I've got a question. I've got a question for you before I go. What about if you're an ass man, a tits man, and a feet man, and you like all three? What category are you in then?
There's got to be one. There's got to be one that you like more. There's always one. You like more.
You don't understand the people. You don't understand the people out there, man. And I'm one of those people. I love everything. I love everything.
Right. If it's the right one, like what is the guy saying here? The JB bet the areolas. JB, I like. Yeah. So yeah, there's always a trade-off. There's always a trade-off with everything.
Oh man, I love it. Look, for me, perfection. You gotta have perfection. And if you got good feet, good tits, and a good ass, mate, you're the highest perfection for me, and that's what does it for me. Doesn't matter. But it's you know how hard it is to pick a person with good feet. It's very hard. But an ass and tits, mate, it's easy to pick. True?
Yeah.
You can't see everyone's feet.
Clean.
Yeah.
What's that?
Do they have to cook and clean? Because is it all looks, or you want more to it? Like
Oh no, man! You need a bit of a variety. She doesn't have to do everything. You know, like I love to help her. You know, she can cook and clean. Obviously, she can't be a complete moron. You know what I mean? She's got to have a bit of know-how. So that's how I see it anyway. But boys, I really got to get back to work. It was nice talking to you, Colonel. Welcome to the Archieverse.
Right, thank you.
Again soon, boys. And by the way, Sam, you're one hell of a fucking talent scout, man. Fucking hats off to you. Love you, brother. This.
Yeah,
I haven't spoken to you for a while. I hope you're doing well, brother. I love you, man. And
you too, man.
It's awesome to see that everything's working out for you. Take care, my man. Ciao.
You too, man.
And as I always say, stay sexy, boys.
Yeah.
Hey, sexy boys. All right, boys and girls, we are rounding up here, Colonel. We're almost we're a little over 2 hours. JJ's actually streaming.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got to run. I was supposed to be downstairs about.
No worries, man. No worries. Hey, Colonel. By the way, JJ's the Watch Hangout streaming after us, and then they're gonna link to Archie. Okay, so that's kind of the sequence. That's kind of the sequence today. So if you're doing something later tonight, like, just let us know. You got my message in the chat.
So how do I do that thing where you did? You know, I really appreciate.
You don't have to do anything. You just need to be live, right? So what I did was we send a link. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we send a link from our viewers to your channel, and then the viewers once Archie or whoever's on the show ends, then it notifies the group that, hey, we're going to Watch Reporter, and they click it, and then it sends the viewers over to you. So you're going to do a show.
How do I notify people that I'm doing a show?
So you set up your stream maybe an hour or two in advance, so we know the time.
Okay.
And like, for example, like the other day you set up for like 8 p.m. Eastern, my time. So I knew that like you were still going to go during Archie's time, so I was able to send it after Archie was done, right? So as long as you go live around like 9 p.m. Eastern, which is like 6 p.m. Pacific, you should be relatively okay. JJ, like I said, JJ does stream Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, so those are the 3 days I would probably avoid, but everything else is fair game. So
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna do the show us your Rolly. I'm gonna do that stream tonight. I'll do it 6 p.m. I'll do it 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. I'm gonna move that to tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. So if anybody wants to join, but we want people to show stuff. I'm not I have nothing to talk about. I only have, I got I have a limited collection. I don't want to talk about my stuff. I want to see interesting stuff. I want to see stuff like this, basically. That's what I want to see. I want to see the punters, showing us like exotic, and again, I'm into like exotic dolls, the gold on strap. I don't want to see basic bitch steel models. I'm not into that.
Let's walk through the super chats here before we end, because I know you got to go. So we got about 22 super chats to thank the punters. Started off the day with Lemon Curly with $20. Thank you so much, Curly. We got JB in Portugal with €10. Thank you, JB. We got Apes in the United Kingdom with 10 British pounds. And another one from Apes, £5. We got JB again, €20. My boy Jake Brooks in the United States, $10. JB again with €20. Really generous there, JB. Thank you for sponsoring the show today.
This is going to get the high rollers. This channel gets some high rollers here. Wow.
Yeah, look, and if you provide good content there, Colonel, like people are going to come and they're going to check out the channel. And look, you kind of heard what Curly said, right? A bit of wash talk with attitude. That's what people want to see. They don't want to hear the boring shit, the ASMR shit. They want to hear the raw Colonel, the feet fucking fetish Colonel.
Yeah, they basically want to see the stripper. They want to see the stripper that gets on stage, gets naked, spreads the pussy open. That's what they want.
I'll tell you something. Bear Clooney said it best. He said, Archie, you know, in the early, you know, 20th century or late 19th century, people would pay to see the fattest man in the world at a circus, right? He's like, your channel is kind of like that. So take that for what that's worth. $10 from Dexterious. Thank you so much. $10 from Curly. Thank you, Curly. Loose Tube, $5. Got Sam Davidson, £2. Jamie Opulence in España with €6. We got Fat Windbag Ben with me here in Scotland, 10 Scottish British pounds. America, $10. Thank you, America. Great to see you. Sam Davidson again, £5. Thank you so much. We got WatchLux, my friend Perry out in Toronto. Thank you so much, Perry. We got the original OC, obviously Spruiken and Marketing away. Good to see you. Apes again. Sean Snowden. Thank you so much, Sean, for the support. JBR Star for the day. And then final super chat from WatchLux. I got a few minutes here, Colonel. I know you got to go, but if you have any we can do final words here from the. We'll start with the Colonel, then we'll go to this if you want. Sure.
Yeah. No. Listen, Tan. First of all, thank you, and thank you, for everybody, the audience, and I'm gonna do a stream tonight. The Show Us Your Rolly stream at 9 p.m. Eastern. So I don't know if you want to link. Whatever you have to. I don't know the technical side of it, but yeah, no, I'm gonna move that to tonight, 9 p.m. We'll have some content.
Yeah,
but seriously, I want to keep it on watches. I don't want to go like in tangents. I mean, I don't mind talking about the ass and the feet, but I want to keep it mostly on watches. I'm not going to like the whole off the rails into Mars.
Yes, give our friend some advice. Like the shows never go as planned. I was planning to do a solo show on some fucking bitch watch talk, basic bitch watch talk, and then it just goes into a tangent there. It always happens, man. What do you think?
I think it's good to have a mix, and you managed to do that today thanks to the Colonel, his wisdom on women's bodies and luxury watches. Please continue coming to the Archieverse. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Thank you very much.
I'll end this on a clip. We're going to JJ's here in a few minutes, guys. Once Ali goes live, but we'll end on a clip here for everybody.
1 minute. Do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing.
They're like fish, like fish. They go off in the shop. Just 1 minute, Bear. I was going to say something.
Just hang on. I got to take this call. Just got to take this call quickly. Jesus, 1 minute. Fuck, what's going wrong?
OHS officer. I'll be back in 1 minute.
All it says is
1 minute. Just gonna take this call. 1 minute. I'll go and check the internet. I'll check it. I'll be back 1 minute. Give me 1 minute.
Don't bullshit. Don't bullshit.
It's not illegal.
I'll be back in 1 moment. I'm just going for a toilet break. We're going to wrap up soon, but we'll keep going.
Sure.
I'll just go to the toilet. I'll be back in 1 minute.
30 seconds or 1 minute or 90 seconds.
Yeah, I'll just be 1 minute. Just hang on one tick.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'll just be 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
I have my own preference for oil.
I'll just be 1 minute there. Just give me a minute. Just 1 minute there. I just
let me fucking finish. You have to say one thing there.
Yes.
But they actually
Here's my Speedmaster.
Just 1 minute. Just one moment. I gotta make that coffee. Guys, I'm just taking a quick toilet break. I'll be right back. I'm just going to a bathroom. I'll be back in 1 minute.
Bathroom break.
I will be back in 1 minute, Bear. Just cover me for a minute, Bear. Just keep talking. Keep talking.
Of course.
1 minute.
They do a show together. That's not my fucking show. That's their show.
1 minute. Cover me.
Super chat.
I'll be back in 1 minute. All I gotta do is put hot water into the cup.
My microphone not working.
Just 1 minute. I'll be back. 1 minute.
Where are you going?
I gotta put the aircon on. 1 minute, guys. I gotta check something. I gotta check. 1 minute.
Check something real quick. Quick.
Hey, everybody, it's Mr. Drummond here.
Be 1 minute, boys. 1 minute. 1 minute. I'll just get a glass of water. 1 minute. 1 minute.
You have no idea of the pets I've had. I've had a pet hawk. I've had a pet wild boar.
I'm just gonna let Dave talk to you guys for a minute. I'll be back in 1 minute. The water. 1 minute. 1 minute. Sorry, guys. 1 minute. 1 minute. I had to break off ice. I got ice in my hand. Let me throw that. Just hang on one tick. I just gotta check something. 1 minute, guys. Just cover me.
This is our big moment.
I will be back. I just gotta push some water, Bear. 1 minute.
My toilet! No, not on. No!
Oh, shit, my dad. I gotta just take this call. 1 minute. What's wrong with me mentally? 1 minute there. I want to show you.
Can't drink if you're driving today.
No, I need a pep. I need some pep. Ooh, 1 minute.
Hi.
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. I'll be back in 1 minute.
Cruise control engaged.
I'm gonna go and weigh myself. I'll just be 1 minute. 2 minutes, guys. 1 minute. 1 minute. Counting down. Can I? I'm just gonna take 1 minute break. I need to get a headache tablet. I'll be back in 1 minute. I got a headache tablet.
Super chat.
Yeah, that's amazing. Just 1 minute. Hey, I'll be back in 1 minute. Just cover me. You got a couple, guys. I'll be back.
We got this. We got this. Don't worry.
Hey, I gotta grab something. 1 minute, guys.
You didn't read the super chat.
Super chat.